2 on and none out, top of the first inning. 2 Tigers, Savannah State and Ed Waters. Left there squaring the bunt. Bunt left side. Third baseman Fields throws low off line. Run is in. Could be a single and an error, maybe a 2-base error. Washington being held up at third. Well, they tried to challenge at third. Philip Bullard Jr. His throw was offline. Could it be a 2-base error or a single and an error, depending on how they score it. Nonetheless, Ed Waters jumps out on top as Judd scores, and Washington held up at third. Thomas takes second on the error. It's kind of a tough play, kind of a fast bunt right there, and it just throws offline. Your body going one way, you throw it across your body, and it was offline. So second and third, nobody out. The pitch outside to Frankie, the first baseman. Hayden Frankie, it's outside, ball 1. So tough start here for Savannah State, a team with double-digit wins. The hotter teams coming in here, and they're down in a bit of trouble here. The next pitch outside. So you have 2 hits, a walk, an error, and a stolen base in this inning already. In second and third, nobody out.
Yeah. I'm already trying to. My stat sheet is a mess already, Charles. Already, it's a mess trying to keep up with it.
But when you're a team that's scoring a lot of runs, there's a slicer foul off to the left side, off the bat of the cleanup man Frankie, the first baseman. I mean, it's a special thing, and you've seen a lot of sports how when a team is hot, it seems like everything they do is right. Good at bat, they're making all the right plays, and that's the way it's been going for Edward Waters. Here's the pitch, low.
The one thing I will say is all 3 games have had a different tone to them in these matchups between Savannah State and Edward Waters. The first game, of course, Edward Waters won 7-0. The second game, and even the third, Savannah had a lead going into the second half of that contest. Oh, that could have been I don't think I was ready for that, Charles. I'm going to be honest with you. If that ball would have came, 30 feet to the right? To the left or right, I would have had to duck. My man behind me might have got hit in the head, but I don't know if I would have caught that one. Wow.
Well, the over-under yesterday was 1, and we had actually 2 come our way.
Really?
Here's the next pitch, fastball, trying to blow it by Frankie, and he fouls it off to the right side.
And I heard the train, so I think that was number 5. Yeah, so the over-under's on 10. So I think we're going to go flying over that before we're done today.
We're already halfway there,
yes.
Not even halfway through day 2. The count is 3-2. In case you're just joining us, Edward Waters with a 1-0 lead. 2 hits, a stolen base, a walk, and an error in this inning. Second and third, nobody out. The pitch, low, ball 4. So that's the second walk in this inning, and they're loaded up with nobody out. It'll bring up Freddie Torres, the left fielder. You can't ask for a better start if you're Edward Waters, and if you're Savannah State, you can't ask for a worse start.
This is a dangerous hitter coming up. I mean, he had 5 RBIs, extra base hits in the last game. I should say earlier today, a few hours ago. So this is a guy who's red hot swinging the bat right now, and now he walks up with the bases loaded.
His coach is coming out in a slow walk to the mound, and this conversation has got to be a brutally honest conversation. All right, bases loaded, nobody out. It would be something special if you come out of it with nothing. If you give up 1, okay. If you give up 2, okay. But if you give up more than that, then you open yourself up for a really bad inning. So bases loaded, nobody out. 5th man to bat in the inning coming up in Torres. Already for Edward Waters, 2 walks, a hit, a stolen base, and an error to start this game. Not the way you want to start if you're Savannah State.
No, it's not.
So it's bases loaded, nobody out. And it's critical here for Savannah State. And 1 bad inning hurt them. There was a second inning last night. So Edward Waters On their way to a big inning, first inning here. Is an off-speed, misses outside. Ball 1 to Freddie Torres, the left fielder. Bases loaded. Washington at third. Thomas at second. Frankie at first. Nobody out. A run is in. 1-0. Edward Waters. Here is the pitch. Swing and a miss. Try to blow it by him. The count is 1-1. Looks like they're even at first and third, back at second and short. They'll probably give up 2 for 1, meaning they'll try to get a double play, give up a run. That's a really good scenario there for Savannah State if it happens. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Like pull the string a bit on that one. And 1-2 the count.
Torres with some good cuts. He's trying to put that ball into play and bring some guys home.
Yeah, for Edward Waters, you want to put the ball in play for Savannah State. You need a strikeout right here, and then a double play will get you out of it. 1-2 the count. Bases loaded, nobody out. 1-0 Edward Waters. The pitch outside. 2-2 the count here in this, the top of the first inning. Edward Waters, the visiting team. Savannah State, the home team. Good play by Turner Davis behind the plate.
I was just going to say, I mean, that's got to be a tough spot. Bases loaded. You don't want to give up any runs, so you got to do your best to keep that ball in front of you.
2-2 the count. Bases loaded, nobody out. 1-0 Edward Waters, the pitch. This is sliced foul down the right side. The count remains 2-2. Charles Edmond, Brian Fulford, Game 2, Day 2 of the inaugural Black College World Series here at Riverwalk Stadium in Montgomery, Alabama. Glad you can join us. Partly sunny skies here. We've got the Home Run Derby coming up, and Bluefield State and Xavier of Louisiana coming up later. 2-2 the count. Bases loaded, nobody out. The pitch misses outside. Another good play. Skip on a fastball. Another good play by the catcher, Davis. Full count.
He looked. I thought it got by him. He gave a good look, like whoo, like thank God I caught that one, because I think he put his glove out there and then looked back like, okay, I did catch that, just to double check himself.
A couple of good plays by the catcher. We've saved a run at least. Full count, 3-2. They're loaded up. You can't put anybody else on without somebody scoring. Here's the 3-2. Here's a shot too short. And a throw of the shortstop trying to get back to second base, trying to get back to second, and he does. So 6 unassisted, and Thomas just hustled back to second for the first out. Well, that's a good result there for Savannah State. You get the out, bases remain loaded, and no one scores, but they're still loaded with 1 out for Joseph Eishen, the DH.
Great job by Lamar J in making that catch. It did come off the bat kind of hard, but it came right to him, so good play.
Double play will get him out of it. Here's a whiff, swing and a miss on an outside pitch. Looked like Eishen was fooled on that pitch. 0-1 the count. Again, we've had 2 hits, 2 walks, an error, and a stolen base in this inning. Bases loaded, 1 out. 1-0 our score. We're Waters, a team that's beaten Savannah State 3 times this season. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Like he was fooled on the first 2 offerings here, and the count is 0-2.
Yeah, those weren't great cuts by Eichen. He definitely got fooled on those 2 pitches.
1-2 the count now. Eishen has to protect the plate. You have the catcher Garcia on deck here on the top of the first inning here in Montgomery. Here's the pitch. 1 hopped. Another good play by the catcher Davis. He's been active early. He's at least, I think, saved 2 runs at this point with a couple of tough pitches there in the last at bat.
Well, the hard part for Savannah State. Now you did 30 minutes compared to what you normally get if you're just starting the game. Teams come out about an hour and a half before. Savannah State really only had about 30 minutes to kind of warm up. Even though they were here early, I mean, where were you going to go warm up?
Here's the next pitch, swing and a miss. And down he goes.
Another off-speed pitch there, because that time Eichen fooled all the way around on that one.
And looked kind of lost at the plate. First pitch was a whiff, second, and then I tried to bust him inside. Mm-hmm. So 2 out, bases remain loaded for Garcia, the catcher. Well, bases loaded, nobody out. Now bases loaded, 2 out, 1 run in. I tell you what, if If Savannah State gets out of this inning with the bases loaded, nobody out, with 1 run scored, that's a victory for them. Here's the pitch, fouled straight back off the bat of Garcia, the catcher.
Yeah, definitely it'd be a big win. And I know it's two pitchers are warming up in the bullpen down in Savannah State. So I got a feeling if Hickox, stumbles here, he may not be in for long.
Hickox at the belt in the pitch. This is hit foul off to the right side and out of play here in the inaugural Black College World Series. It's been a lot of fun so far, a lot of exciting games, and an exciting game in the game previous to this one, and it'll get even more exciting with the Home Run Derby coming up.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see, man. It's a great idea. It would be interesting to see how that goes.
Looking forward to it. Here's the 0-2, and this is fouled off.
I got a feeling, Charles, I'm going to have to be ready. I'm going to have to stay alert because that's already 2 or 3 balls that have gotten past that net. And, we jokingly thought the nets were kind of high. I know Nick and I, when we were talking, we were in Frisco, it was a little bit higher than this. Or maybe we were higher up. I don't know, but I still feel a little unprotected. And the window is open, so.
Here's the 0-2, waste one outside. Just a wasted pitch, 1-2 the count. Well, it takes, for me, a lot of English to get, a lot of backwards English to get the ball over the net and here to where we are. It's possible, and it has happened.
Yeah, but see, I don't have a glove, and, I always watch those videos, and you see people try to shag balls with their bare hands.
Here's the 1-2, misses outside.
And it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well, And we got a lot of electrical equipment up here, so I'll save what I can, but I'm more concerned about saving my face more than anything. This equipment can be replaced.
2-2 the count. What? 2-2 the count here with the bases loaded.
Our producer says, "What? No, it can't."
Here's the 2-2. Just got a piece of it and fouled it back. Good.
Just kidding, boss. Just kidding, boss.
Yeah.
If you're listening.
Well, I'm familiar with equipment as well, and I have to agree with them. This equipment very sensitive to crazy types of things. 2-2 the count here. Bases loaded. It's been a crazy inning here.
Yeah. In
this top of the first inning, 1-0. It was bases loaded, nobody out. Now bases loaded, 2 out. A run is in, and here is the 2-2 pitch. Low, full count.
28 pitches already thrown by Jackson Hickox. I mean, that is a. Wow, is that a number of pitches in the first inning?
When you're talking about a tournament situation, you have to micromanage, especially after the first game. You got to micromanage your pitching because you've got to stay alive, and arms already up in the bullpen for Savannah State. They're all running on this pitch. Here's the 3-2, and this is foul off to the right. Good at bat here. Good battle between Hickox and Garcia here in the top of the first inning.
That's the 8th pitch for Garcia, and he's had 5 cuts. He's made contact on every strike.
We'll all be running here. Take a little dip. The 3-2 coming up. This is sliced in the right, and this ball is going to be caught in right. And the side is retired as Tracy hauls it in, and what a way to mitigate the damage by this pitcher, Hickox. Bases loaded, nobody out. They only get a run. They send 7 to the plate. A run on 2 hits, 2 walks, a stolen base, an error, and 3 stranded. Put a circle around that inning as we roll along. We'll take a break here. Half inning complete. It is 1-0 Edward Waters. We'll take this break here from Montgomery. We'll be right back. This is the Black College World Series.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
It was a monumental game for A&M and Tampa. It was a monumental game. Somebody had to lose, and thank God it was them this time.
We knew it was going to be a battle. Look at Jake Aver's record. 202 and 36, I think. Some off-the-wall figures.
And nobody would play him because they didn't want to take a chance of getting beat. But the truth of it is,
over 46,000 tickets. Blacks were sitting in the east stands. Whites were sitting in the west stands. And the score wound up 34-28.
The only thing we proved that we wasn't inferior, that we were not inferior, and we were not afraid.
For one night, for 160 minutes, we was better than them.
Devin Shaw in now for the Tuskegee Golden Tigers. Shaw comes in. No record on the season. He has a couple of appearances there. Swinging a long one, y'all. That one might get out of it. It has a chance. And it's into the bleachers. Home run. Chris O'Neal goes yard. That gives Lane a 10-0.
Bottom of the first coming up here for Savannah State. They're down 1-0. They dodged a heck of a disastrous situation. Charles Edmond, Brian Fulford here, and let's give you Savannah State's lineup here in the bottom of the first inning.
Well, you see Joseph Smith, the left fielder, leading off here, followed up by Dwayne DJ Franklin. Also playing center, and then Luis Lamarche, the shortstop, will come up and clean up if we see him as Max Tracy, the right fielder.
The ground ball in the hole, had him played perfectly at short. The throw across is too late. A single for Smith. It looked like they had him played perfectly. Schubert in the hole in short had the long throw across, but you got to give Smith the credit with the speed. He just beat it out.
Yeah, that was a great piece of running there, and so, good job by the leadoff hitter, Joseph Smith.
You get it that deep in the hole, you got to make a strong throw, unless you have a speedy runner like Smith. So now to bring up the center fielder, Wayne DJ Franklin stands in. He's swinging away. Pitch is high. He was hitting 396 coming in. It takes a fastball high. So we'll see how Savannah State plays this here. My guess is with the high average, not going to take the bat out of his hands, even though you could sacrifice. It's just a 1-0 game. No, he is going to square up and pitches outside. So kind of fooled me there.
Mm-hmm. Well, both of these coaches seem to come out of the same school of thought and advance the runners when you can, especially early in the contest when you're trying to get runs. And
the runner going here, pitches low, and the throw is too late. Well, a terrific jump by Joseph Smith.
Great speed out there. Great speed indeed.
I mean, he had a heck of a jump off first. Now time is called here. And let's see.
And they called that a ball, correct? Yeah, that was a ball.
Kind of 3-0. And let's see what the issue is here. Waters coach coming out. Talk with the umpire. I guess whatever the conversation is, the umpire says we good.
Yeah, I always wonder what kind of conversation you could have when you have a play that goes your way. I'm like, what is there to say? I'm always curious.
Well, I'm gonna take a guess. Mm-hmm. Maybe could have been a balk. I mean, maybe he could be contesting that. But still, a great jump by Smith as he stole second. There's a pitch off speed in for a strike. You got to keep an eye on Joseph Smith. He's infield single, just stole second. 76-mile-an-hour pitch. There's the next pitch, a shot in the left field. That's a base hit. Smith had to hold up along the ball, the dribble through in the left. It's a base hit, and here comes Savannah State, first and third with nobody out.
Good piece of hitting by Franklin.
And I'll bring up Luis Lamarche at the plate, the shortstop. Well, you can just get the idea that this could be a really fun game here, back and forth.
Yep.
It was bases loaded, nobody out for Edward Waters. They got one run, and here comes Savannah State, first and third. Nobody out to the number 3 hitter, Lamarche. Runner going here, pitches outside. They tried what we call the wheel route, trying to get the catcher to throw the ball across and send Smith home. But the catcher held it. Smith got back to third and a stolen base for Franklin.
Yeah, I always say that is the easiest stolen base you ever get, because you really don't want to throw that, because if you throw it, especially with a fast runner.
There's a fly ball in the left right field. This could be a play at the plate. Nope, the throw into third. Runner trying to get to third, and he does.
Yeah, they knew he was. There was never a play going to the plate. That was always, check the third, because Smith had shown the speed, I think, already that ball was deep enough that Smith was coming home.
So a sac fly and an RBI for Lamarche. We got a 1-1 game here. And Franklin took third on the throw. So Savannah State with an opportunity to grab the lead here in the bottom of the first inning. 1-1 game here in Montgomery in the College World Series. The inaugural Black College World Series. Pitches outside. Ball 1 to the cleanup hitter, Tracy.
Great answer by Savannah State here into this first inning.
Here's the pitch, a fly ball in the shallow center. It's going to be caught behind second by the second baseman for the second out, and he smartly runs it in to prevent any idea by Franklin to try to score. Mm-hmm. You don't see that enough. I mean, sometimes second baseman in shallow center, a little off balance, makes the catch, and then you break for home. And what he did was exactly the right thing. You run it in, and there's any idea of a guy from third trying to score, you won't even think about it.
Right, because I think had he maybe stumbled back, or even if he would have gone somewhere with the ball, that runner might have gone.
So 4 unassisted off the bat of Tracy, and now Wright stands in. The first baseman takes a pitch high, ball 1. 1-1 game, bottom 1. Game 2, day 2 here in Montgomery. His pitch fastball high, and the count is 2-0. So opportunistic baseball by Savannah State. 2 on and none out. A couple of stolen bases. A sac fly tied the game, and now a chance to grab the lead. Here's the pitch inside, and the count is 3-0. This is the one thing that amazes me with baseball. Okay, so damage has been done. Yeah, you got a runner at third. Now you just got to try to make your defense work and get out of the inning.
Yeah, just got to find a way to get out of this one while you can.
3-0 the count. The pitch outside corner.
Ooh, wow! He called that. I know. Andre was like, "Really?"
Yeah, I think he kind of halfway knew he could get a walk, but halfway knew he's going to dig in for another one.
Mm-hmm.
3-1 the count. The 3-1. Foul straight back, and now it's a full count. So from 3-0 to 3-2, the number 5 hitter, Dre Wright, with champion Robbins on deck. It's a 1-1 game here. Game number 2, day 2. Home run derby coming up next. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss. He came back and got him. He came back and got him, and the inning is over. What a good job there by Savannah State, and Savannah State ties it up. Good job by Edward Waters. It was first and second, nobody out. We got a run, 2 hits, 2 stolen bases, a sac fly, and 1 stranded here in game 2, day 2. 1-1 game, inning 2 coming up. Bottom of the lineup, Lauro Schubert. Top of the lineup coming up after this on the Black College World Series here on the Black College Sports Network.
Have you had your Earth Blend coffee today? At Earth Blend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earth Blend Coffee.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app. as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change.
And welcome back. We are live here in Montgomery, Alabama at Riverwalk Stadium. 1-1 game, top of the second inning. The bottom of the lineup, Laurel, Schubert, and top of the lineup with Judd. And Adrian Laurel, the third baseman, stands in. First pitch is low. Here is the 1-0 inside. So low and inside. The count is 2-0. We were talking during the break about the 3 losses by this Savannah State team to this Edward Waters team, and we saw the game last night. Just one bad inning. Here's a chopper to second. Booted off the knee of the second baseman. Let's see how they score that. Probably an error. I'm going to guess on that one. It was a 2-hopper. You make the play, you get them out. Well, let's see how they score that, though. Interesting. Tried to short hop, and it came up on him.
Yeah, I think you have to be able to make that.
E4. So the bottom of the lineup. Number 8 hitter Laurel on, and it'll bring up the number 9 hitter Peyton Schubert to shortstop. Maybe some small ball here, try to sacrifice the lefty. Nope, he's swinging away. It's one hop to the catcher. Made some nice plays so far. Turner Davis 1-0 the count. What's important here, you've got the bottom of the lineup, and then you've got the top of the lineup coming up potentially. So some things to think about here. Here in this, the top of the second inning. 1-1 game, Savannah State and Edward Waters. This is a pitch sliced in the left, and it's going to be a nice running catch in left. What a play. And double him up.
Got him.
What a play. Joseph Smith in left. A terrific over-the-shoulder catch. And they double up Laurel at first. Great play on one end. Tough running on the other end.
Yeah, definitely did a great job of picking off the runner who got ahead of himself. And I think what hurt him is that when he got to second, he was actually kind of caught off guard by the left fielder actually catching that, and he slipped. And that little slip on the base pad was that half a second that they needed on the relay.
2 out, bases empty. So Joseph Smith, the left fielder, has done it in the field with a terrific play right there. An infield single and stolen base at the plate. So he's getting it done on both ends. And you don't see that very often, where runners picked off trying to get back to first base. Here's a ground ball to third. They should end the inning. The throw is there. Side is retired just like that. An infield single, a double play. Nobody left. We have an inning and a half complete. A lot of action for a 1-1 game. Charles Edmond, Brian Fulford. He's exhaling, folks. Already a lot of action. And we'll get to more action coming up in the bottom of the second inning, as we'll have 6, 7, and 8 coming up. Robbins, Davis, and Woolard coming up here from Montgomery in the inaugural Black College World Series. We'll get to it after this.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook.
Back here live in Montgomery, Alabama, Riverwalk Stadium, home of the Biscuits, Alabama State University, Auburn, Montgomery, a lot of great universities here in this town. First pitch to Champion Robbins, the second baseman, fouled it straight back. We were talking about that 7-4-3 double play off the bat of Schubert, a fly ball, terrific catch by Smith, relayed it in for the 7-4-3 double play to get out of that jam a moment ago.
Yeah, someone tagged that play as one of the plays of the day. And we talked about, could that be some good base running or bad base running? Could it just be a great relay? How about it just being all of those?
Yes, I agree. A little number to short, and the throw is there. One away. 6-3, just a little number as we call it, off the end of the bat. And the shortstop, Hubert, put the throw across, one away.
And one more thing, Charles, about that play. I think the base runner, was caught off guard by the catch. Now, the catch was so smooth because really he didn't seem like he didn't know that he was going to turn and catch it over his shoulder. He was so casual about it. I think that's what threw off the base runner.
To Hopper to third, and quickly 2 away. A dart from the third baseman, Laurel, 2 away. So 6-3 and 5-3 on the ground out if you're scoring at home, and I know you are. 2 away and 4 in a row set down by this pitcher after the tough first inning.
Nothing helps your pitch count when you can get 2 outs and 2 pitches. Great infield play by the guys behind you.
Good job on the replay. As Turner Davis, he's kind of handcuffed there, this pitch outside. So 4 in a row set down by this pitcher. You got Wooler, the number 8 hitter, at the plate. Quickly 2 away. Bottom of the second inning, 1-1 game. Here's the pitch. Strike called on the inside corner. 1-1 the count, 74-mile-an-hour pitch. Here's the 1-1. This is low inside. Got the home run derby coming up, and we've got the final game of the evening. Xavier of Louisiana and Bluefield State coming up later, right here on the Black College Sports Network. Here's the pitch. This is a slice down the right side. Is there a play? No. 4 rows up in the grassy area. That's where you can get a nice blanket and just sit out down that right field line.
I've never been one of those people, Charles. You know, I come to a game, I want to sit in a seat. I don't want to be covered in grass. I don't want to have grass anywhere near me.
You're not going to bring a blanket.
Not bringing picnics. You know, give me a good hot dog and some nachos and some pretzels or some peanuts, something I can make a mess on the floor in front of me.
2-2 the count, 2 out here in the bottom of the second inning. Here's the 2-2. Here's a long fly ball in the deep left field. This ball's well hit. Could this be the first home run of the tournament? It is! The first home run here in the Black College World Series. Philip Woolard Jr., third baseman. He touches them all. Looked like he didn't get a lot of it, but he got too much of it, sailing over the left field wall. Our first homer here in the Black College World Series.
Technically, we have to call this the first home run over the fence. the more traditional home run, as we had an in-the-park home run in the last game. So in the more traditional sense, how about this is the first ball to leave the yard?
Man, it just didn't seem like he got a whole lot of it with the swing.
Something told me when I saw the lift and the exit velocity, not that I have any stats with me.
Here's the shot, a base hit in the left center. Off the bat of the number 9 hitter, Jaden Oden. Wow, that put a charge in everyone here.
Yes, it did.
So this is the bottom of the lineup we just saw with Woolard homering and Oden single. And now top of the lineup, the left fielder Joseph Smith, an infield single and stole a bases last time up. 2-1 Savannah State with the lead. Well, we saw it at the start, a lot of action, and just added to it conversation piece with the first home run. I wonder if they get that baseball as a treasure that you can hang on to. The first homer over the fence here in the Black College World Series. Runner going, pitches outside, the throw, the tag, he is out! Bang, bang play. Another good play by the defense there. That ends the inning. But Savannah State has the lead. A run on 2 hits, a runner caught stealing, nobody left. Savannah State left 3, and we go to the 3rd inning. 2-1 our score. Savannah State and Edward Waters, top of the lineup coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be back after this timeout here on the Black College.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
There we go. Top 3, 2-1 our score. Edward Waters to the plate. Kellen Washington walked his last time up. Well, we've had a little bit of everything now with the home run in the last half inning off the bat of Philip Wooler Jr. Here's the pitch, fastball, strike call, 1-1. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup. Kellen Washington, Damani Thomas, and Caden Frankie for Edward Waters. Just get the feeling it's going to be that type of game. This next pitch misses outside.
Yeah, this is already setting up to be one of those games where I will not be surprised if we see maybe a run or two every inning or every other inning. It's just going to go back and forth until we get late into this contest.
This pitch outside, 3-1. Edward Waters, college located in Jacksonville, Florida. Mr. Bryant, their AD, I knew him when he was the AD at Grambling.
Okay.
Here's the 3-1, fastball low, and they have a new football stadium that everyone's excited about here in Jacksonville. Leadoff walk to Washington.
Yeah, that is the crown jewel of a lot of good things that are happening over at EWC right now, and so I know they are super excited. They've actually played some. Let me see. This will show that I've been paying attention to you, Mr. Jackson. Soccer. I think they've been playing women's soccer. So that's the first sport that has actually been out on that field turf stadium out there, and so and they've been practicing football. I don't think they've had a spring game, but I know they've been practicing out there. See, I pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah, and I got a chance to see their women's team. They were in Birmingham, actually. They played UAB early in the season in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So leadoff out of Washington on, and this pitch, the strike call to Thomas, who singled, advanced on an error his last time up. Well, the leadoff man has been on base all 3 innings for Edward Waters.
Hey, Charles and Brian, can I ask you guys a question?
Yes.
Well, you just answered it. You can't hear us.
I think they're testing the wireless for the home run derby, which is coming up.
And I've got that lineup, which I could share with you here in a moment.
1 the count. Pitch to the lefty Thomas, fouled straight back. That home run derby is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, you watch the big boys do it. the different rounds and the cuts and just the amount of power where you can hit it out of the ballpark so many times, and can you get it done as many times? Or I think 8 participants. I think there's 8 participants in it, right?
I've got 7.
I've
got 7 participants. I think it's a 3-minute time limit that they have, and they will actually get a chance to call at least one timeout midway through. Yeah, 3 minutes. I said that. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So they're
3.5.
They're giving them a little. Wow, they're giving them more time. I don't know if that's a good thing, but okay, they're giving them more time. Maybe that's because we were supposed to have 8, and now we're down to 7. Maybe I'm just guessing.
Throw to first, and Washington was leaning a little bit towards second. Got back in hand first. One thing I didn't realize until probably a couple of years ago about the guys on the big level, the big show that do the home run derby, they kind of they want their own pitching coach pitching to them.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that. I really didn't, and maybe naive not to think that they wouldn't, but they got their own guy throwing to them. Of course you would, because they're gonna groove it to them, which is what you want.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see who throws to these guys. Now, when we came out here earlier, I didn't see the turtle, as they call it, the hitting turtle out early. So I'm not really sure. Maybe the guys are hitting in a batting cage somewhere, or so it'll be interesting. Just here, so a bit of the lineup. Now they have this. I don't know if there are 2 divisions or maybe this is just 1 through 7. I'll go with the guys who are this game. Champion Robbins from Savannah State and DeMaurice Gresham. Both of Savannah State will be in the contest.
Here's the 2-2. It's slapped in the right field, 4th base hit. Washington held up at second. And here comes Edward Waters right back at you. 2 on, none out. And it's, when you get the leadoff man on, that sets you up. And if you're the pitcher, that throws you out of sync. When the leadoff man continues to get on, that could spell trouble.
Yeah, Jackson Hickox, he actually, the last time these teams played, he actually pitched and started that game back on March 27 in the Jacks Diamond Classic. He went 5 innings, gave up 4 hits and 1 run. He had a good performance in the first half of that game.
Pickoff move to throw a little bit towards the third base side of second base, and getting back in is Washington, just trying to keep them honest.
Yeah, and Jackson and so Savannah State really just had the 1 bad inning. They gave up 6 runs in the 8th inning, and that was your ball game. Lost 7-4.
And what we've seen from Savannah State is the next pitch low. When they're on the wrong end of the scoreboard, it just seems like it's just been 1 big inning. Last night it was that way, the 8-run inning. And they're just trying to mitigate the damage. And you talked about during the regular season, the games that you saw between these 2 teams, just 1 bad inning kind of get you thrown sideways.
Mm-hmm.
But as they say, that's baseball. 2-1 the score, 1-0 the count. Another fake throw. Just trying to keep Washington honest. I think you got some pretty good speed on the bases with Washington and Thomas. So this could be a set steal or double steal here.
Oh, definitely. Washington can go. So I think anything that gets hit into those gaps, he may be coming home.
Here's the pitch. Fastball strike called. Count is 1-1. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see who throws to these guys in the home run derby coming up next.
And Joseph Eichen will be representing EWC in the derby. And I'll give the other 4 participants their names a little bit later.
Here's the 1-1. Misses outside, 2-1. Maybe I can volunteer my services to throw one of these guys. You think I can make it to? You think I can throw it to home plate?
So you have 3 minutes and 30 seconds. You plan on doing it? Is that the shoulder you use to drive home with? Because otherwise, don't plan on using that shoulder probably for another week.
We'll be here till tomorrow if I'm throwing.
Yeah.
Here's the next pitch. Misses outside. Throw across. Just trying to keep the runner honest. Obviously, they've had a couple of attempts and now throw across the diamond. They really have a lot of respect for Washington, trying to keep him close there. Count is 3-1, so if you lose Frankie, they're loaded up again.
Yeah, when you see this much attention being paid, there's a history here. I'm going to see if I can go back and if I can pull up some of what Washington has done to Savannah State on the base pads in these last meetings.
Here's the 3-1. Outside, ball 4, and they're loaded up. So if you look at Hickox, he's walked 2 in this inning. He's walked 4 for the game.
Thrown 50 pitches. 50-plus pitches.
So 50 pitches, 4 walks. And they're loaded again with nobody out. Happened in the first, happening here in the third. Torres stands in. He lined as short his last time up. They're in at first and third for the play at the plate. Back at second and short, looking for the double play. Here's the pitch. Hit foul off to the right side. It's dangerous anytime you have the bases loaded, nobody out once. But this is the second time in 3 innings that the bases have been loaded with nobody out. That's a very dangerous sign.
Yeah, that's you don't want to keep doing that too often.
And thankfully for Savannah State, Edward Waters just got 1 run out of it in the first. Here's the pitch, fastball, strike called. But the odds are against you if you think you can just continue to have that happen and only give up a run here or no runs. The odds are against you for sure. 0-2 the count. So Hickox is ahead of Torres. Very familiar with this team. 0-2 the count. Bases loaded, nobody out. 2-1 Savannah. The pitch low. 1-2 the count. I think in between innings, that home run that was hit, I think someone went out and got that ball.
Oh, hopefully so. It didn't go outside that exterior fence there that lead towards the railroad tracks.
So a lot of first pitch, first run, first home run, first inside the park home run as we had in the previous game.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the 1-2.
Oh, that got by him.
It's a wild pitch. Runner scores. Well, as good of a job as Turner Davis has done in keeping balls in front of the plate and around the plate, he let that one get by him. So a wild pitch scores Washington. Thomas and Frankie move up a base. And it's 2-2. Still nobody out in the inning. The count is 2-2. 2 on. 2-2 game. Or 2s if they're your lucky number. They're all over the board here. 2-2 the count. Hickox at the belt, brings it home. High fly ball in the deep right center field. This ball is well hit, and this ball is going to go all the way to the wall. Over the wall, a ground rule double.
Well, shit.
And this runner from third will be allowed to score. So a bases clearing double for Torres.
Deuces really wild right there.
That's our first ground rule double in the Black College World Series. That cleared the bases.
And I think that might be the end for Hickox.
So 4-2 our score. And looks like a pitching change is coming up here. Well, you talked about it, how Hickox in previous encounters, it's just been kind of all over the map. And in a tournament like this, if somehow they stay alive, we might see him again. And that's why you get the early hook in these tournaments, especially to get deeper into it. You got enough arms to try to patch your way through it. So for Savannah State, Jackson Hickox, his day is done. We'll take a break right here. When we come back, we'll give you the next picture for Savannah State as they're down 4-2. We'll take this time out here from Montgomery. We'll be back after this here on the Black College Sports Network.
Follow the Black College Sports Network and all of our shows on YouTube. You can find us at MyJBN Online and on all social media at MyBCSN1.
This is Ryan Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
shot to third base. Great stab right there by Armstrong. And Jones across the diamond to get him out right there. What a play there by Armstrong.
Hey, look, and you can see Arias giving some love to Armstrong with the head nod, but that was a great play. Watch the replay there. What I noticed first, Drew, is the minute Armstrong took off, he led with his glove out. He had his glove out ready so that by the time...
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the national...
Enrico Peel is the second pitcher in for Jackson Hickox, who went 2 innings. We'll give you his numbers in a moment. The runner on second is his responsibility. And Edward Waters batting around here. Knock out Hickox. Icing at the plate. He struck out his last time up.
You know, Peel actually has a pretty good ERA on the year. 2.25 ERA. In 7 appearances, pitched 16 innings. The sophomore from Lehigh Acres, Florida. Lehigh High School.
That's the pitch inside. 1-0 the count. Well, where is that part of Florida?
Oh, I had a feeling you were going to ask that.
I'm familiar with Miami, Daytona, Tampa, Pensacola. Not familiar with that area.
Thank goodness for Google. It's in Lee County, Florida.
Yeah, which is.
Yeah, see? More questions asked.
We have questions. We have no answers right now.
We have no answers.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss.
Ooh, that was a cut by Eichen.
Yeah, he was trying to hit that one over the train tracks.
Yeah, you know, trying to get an early swing on the home run derby is that one. Down in the Fort Myers area is where Lehigh Acres, Florida is.
I think it's 1-2 the count.
Not far from the Everglades.
This pitch is low, 2-2. 2-2 the count.
Well, it's a ways from the Everglades, but it's all green. Now, when you look at the map, it's all green. It's all jungle down that way. Or it's a jungle. I don't want to call it jungle, but you know, I'm a country boy. I don't Florida life. I'll tell you, it's something.
The count is 2-1. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. They actually have. Well, now they're going to reset the counts. 2-2 now. 2-2 the count to Joseph Eichen with Garcia on deck. A 3-run inning here for Edward Waters. 4-2 over Savannah State. Here's the pitch, foul back. Right now the line on Hickox and the runner on second is his responsibility. 2 innings pitched, 4 runs, 4 hits, 4 walks, and 1 strikeout. That's the line so far, but the runner at second belongs to him, so his book is not closed as of yet. Let's see if Go can get out of this inning. Here's the next pitch, swing and a miss. Foul tip, catcher held it. That's the first out of this inning. 1 out. Garcia at the plate. So Enrico Peel, the 6'2 sophomore. I tell you what, when I look at these games, got some pretty big kids on all of these teams.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the pitch. This is hit down the right side. It's going to drop.
Oh, it's dropped. That's
fair. Run is in. Extra bases for Garcia. Makes the turn. Dives into second hand first.
Max Tracy was in an impossible spot. That ball just landed right on the line, maybe a foot inside of the line. He did a great job, though, of not letting it get all the way to the mound in the batter's box, and then made a good throw into the cutoff to keep Garcia at second.
Back-to-back doubles, a ground rule double off the bat of Torres, and a slicing double down the right side off the bat of Garcia. It's a 4-run inning, and it's 5-2 Edward Waters. And the first pitch in for a strike to the number 8 hitter, Lauro. How about this score? I mean,
I was going to say, we talked about, I felt like this was going to be the kind of game where we were going to see a lot of runs possibly.
Ground ball foul down the third base line.
Well, we might see a lot of runs, and it was just going to be one of those innings. You know, who had the big inning? And, you know, unfortunately now, Edward, we talked about that. Edward, I mean, that's what Savannah State has dealt with in this tournament, and really in probably most of their losses is that big inning.
Here's the 0-2 from Peel. Swing and a miss on an inside pitch. Blew it right by Laurel.
Wow.
A lot of 88 miles an hour. Seemed like it was 90 the way he blew that one by Laurel. 2 away. So to bring up Schubert. He was at the plate when it was a deep fly ball to the left in a 7-4-3 double play. That got a lot of conversation on social media. 2 out, runner at second. The pitch is outside. We've seen some good defensive plays. We've seen some good plays in the infield. We've seen a home run. We've seen an inside the park home run. And we've seen some pretty good plays in the outfield as well today. 5-2, Edward Waters. Pitch from Peel. Fastball, good pitch, strike called. And again, Savannah State's going to have to battle from behind. When did they expect that walking in here in Montgomery, that they would be fighting uphill most of the tournament? Here's the 1-1. Misses outside, throw across, and it's too late. I mean, you've watched, obviously, both of these teams, so you have a pretty good feel of Savannah State as well as Edward Waters. When you look at Savannah State, you look at their record, 13 wins coming in here. Is this just a tough matchup?
I think it is just a tough matchup, you know, and fortunately, you know, I think it started with the second comeback where, you know, they lost, Savannah State lost Edward Waters 10-9, even though Edward Waters controlled that one game 7-0. I think when you have it, and now 2 games, when you've had a chance to beat a team twice and you haven't gotten it done because of late inning, whether it be heroics by them or mistakes by you, I mean, that's got to start the weigh on you.
Yeah, and it becomes less physical and more mental as it grinds on.
Yeah, and like you said, you haven't experienced a lot of losing, but you know you have lost half of your games to one team.
Here's the 3-2 swing and a miss, and a good job by, you know, to kind of end the inning. Great job by Peel to put out the fire. So the book is closed on Hickox as he gives up 5 runs on 4 hits, and that takes care of Edward Waters. A big inning for them as they send 8 to the plate and they score 4 runs on 3 hits and 1 stranded. So we'll take a break here. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 5-2, Edward Waters over Savannah State. Top of the lineup coming up for Savannah State after this timeout on the Black College Sports Network.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
It was a monumental game for A&M and Tampa. It was a monumental game. Somebody had to lose, and thank God it was them this time.
Freshman Yabdiel Hernandez, the pitcher for Edward Waters, has the lead here, 5-2. But stick around. We've seen a lot happen, and we've seen Savannah State just keep battling here, and we'll see if that trend continues. Top of the lineup for Savannah State here in the bottom of the third inning. Smith, Franklin, and Lamarche. First pitch outside, ball one. We are underway in the home half of the third inning. 5-2 Edward Waters. Here's the pitch. And this is high, 2-0 the count. You know, the one thing that I always notice in baseball, when you've been batting around, it's great for your team that does that. But you know who's at a disadvantage? The pitcher. Mm-hmm. He's sitting in that dugout. Pitchers like rhythm. And when you've been batting around, that pitcher's sitting around the dugout trying to get loose.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard. And you look at it right now, it's 3-0, despite the fact your team has batted around. And it's 4 straight balls when the leadoff man is on for Savannah.
Yeah, worst possible guy you could lead off to. We've seen the kind of trouble that Joseph Smith caused for Edward Waters in the first inning. And so it'll be interesting to see how Hernandez keeps Smith, quote unquote, in check. And already, right off the bat, I mean, I don't even think he had a chance to look at the catcher, or actually the batter hadn't even stepped in the box before Hernandez threw over to first.
Just keeping him close. Smith, infield single. He stole a base. So he's on base twice. He's not going here. Pitch strike call on the inside corner from Hernandez.
And so now that that's happened, I'm one of them people that believe, you know, it's a game between a good base runner and a pitcher. I'm convinced Smith is going. Eventually he will go.
Takes a short lead here and gets back in. Think he's trying to read Hernandez, knowing that he's probably going to throw it over. So short lead by Smith, takes a little bit deeper lead. Hernandez brings it home, fastball high. And one thing you see from this pitcher Hernandez with runners on base, he kind of squats down in his stance. It kind of.
Now he's only 5'9", so it's, you know, he's a shorter guy compared to most pitchers.
Runner going, and he fouled it off. Got a pretty decent jump.
And I say that to mean that there's not the distance in your delivery is not as pronounced as what you might have from a taller pitcher. So, you know, being 5'9", that ball's going to, you know, come from that stance that he's in to his delivery and to the plate probably a lot faster than most.
Not going here. And when you look at it, when he kneels down in that stance, he's got the ball in his right hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's reaching in the glove and then bringing it in. You see it right there. He holds the baseball, gets in that stance, gets the sign, looks over at first. Here's the 2-2. High fly ball in the center field. This ball is well hit, and this ball is going to be all the way to the wall. Extra bases here. Smith around second. Motors in the third. He comes in to score. Throw not made. Double for Franklin, and here comes Savannah State.
And again, there's that speed from Smith. I mean, there was no let up. I'm watching by the time Thomas collects that ball in center field, Smith is rounding third, and there was no let off the gas by Smith. None whatsoever.
I tell you what, Savannah State's got some speed at the top of the lineup with Smith and Franklin.
Yeah.
I mean, they can move the pieces on defense for sure. And I'll bring up Lamarche. Sack fly, tied it at 1. It's 5-3 now. Back and forth we go. Here's the pitch outside. Well, we kind of felt like it would be that type of game right off the bat, and it's living up to its billing here, third of the way through. Time called. Yep. And as we talked about, back and forth. Now we got Coach coming out here to kind of settle down Hernandez a bit. Well, as you looked at these games between these two teams and looking at Hernandez and what he has done, and of course Hickox is no longer around for Savannah, and then you look at Hernandez, talk about him and what he's done with this team as the bullpen is busy.
Well, I'm looking at. I was taking a look at Joseph Smith for a second. and trying to see what he's done in the last couple of innings or the last couple of matchups against Edward Waters. I know in the game 2 of the doubleheader, the first 2 meetings, Joseph Smith was 3 of 4, scored 3 runs, had an RBI, walked 1, struck out once. I mean, he was just all over the place. A great job, just a great job by the top of the order for Savannah State. And we did not see Smith in the Jack's Diamond Classic.
Your pitch is outside, so it's really been a chess match in terms of just the pitching between these two teams during the regular season.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think both teams want to see, or in these other games, they've tried to see can they get there. Oh, wow.
And here's a throw into center field, E1, and the runner to third. So an E1, a bad throw from Hernandez, just trying to keep Franklin close, instead thrown into shallow center, and he takes third on the throw. And he's there with nobody out.
Now, Yadiel, you look, he's thrown a 7-hit complete game against this Savannah State team. So, he has had success against them. Obviously, this is going to be a different contest because both teams are playing like this one matters a little bit more, and that's great for a tournament like this to see how high the stakes are.
Fly ball down the right side.
Might be playable.
No. A pretty good job at first down there for Edward Waters. First baseman Frankie just ran out of room. It landed about a row and a half up. If it had been a row up, he probably would have got that ball.
Yeah, and honestly, I think how high that ball, hung in the air. I think if that ball would have hung in the air a little bit more for Frankie, he would have had time to set his feet a little bit and might have made that catch. He wasn't far away from making it.
2-1 the count. Hernandez at the belt brings it home. This is 3-1. Still nobody out in this inning. Bullpen busy. Five to 3 our score. Here's the pitch, inside corner.
Don't go just yet.
And then the Marshy said, yeah, I figured. Count is 3-2. 3-2 the count. Cleanup man Tracy on deck. 5-3, Edward Waters. The pitch, high fly ball in the center. We could have a play at the plate. Pitch is made, tag made, throw made. Coming in, it's too late. Well, everything done right, but you can't underestimate speed, and the speed of Franklin.
Good effort. Good effort by Thomas. Good throw. Just not enough on it. I mean, that ball went deep enough, just by probably a few feet, in order to bring Franklin home.
Everything was done right, but when you have a speedy runner, there's not much you can do. 5-4. An entertaining game already, a third of the way through. Tracy at the plate, 1 out, bases empty. The pitch. Strike called. Bullpen busy for Edward Waters. Bullpen quiet on the opposite side. As the starting pitcher, Hickox, done after 2 innings. Which is outside the book on him. 4 runs, 4 hits, 4 walks, and a strikeout in 2 innings of work. 0-2 the count, 1 out. 0-2, and this is slapped down the left side, foul. Well, with this 5-4 game, the way the runs are scored at this point, a third of the way through, we're going to see quite a few arms, I would believe, before it's all said and done.
You know what? And it makes me wonder. I might think against running a bunch of arms out there. Although, look, I understand there's no tomorrow if you lose this game, but if you can, I mean, as long as you're not sort of, or maybe I'll use the phrase bleeding out, and if you give up 1 or 2 runs, okay.
Pitch high, 2-2. Yeah, I mean it's tricky. It's tricky, and watching SWAC tournament baseball, when you get in deeper into these brackets, it's a tricky situation. The 2-2 foul off to the right side because you want to stay alive. That's your goal. You want to patch it. I mean, in a perfect world, you just want to have your starter out there give you a ton of innings. But it's not the case often in tournament baseball, whether it's your own tournament or just a tournament like this, the Black College World Series. Got to figure it out as you go. Here's the 2-2 with 1 out, bases empty. Inside a let up, full count, 3-2.
That was close. That was close to almost hitting Tracy on the left shoulder or on the left arm.
Right on deck, the first baseman. Full count, 3-2, 1 out. Here comes. Ground ball to third. And the throw is low but out. 2 away. 5-3 if you're scoring at home. Andre Wright stands in. So in a tournament scenario, your mindset is just kind of let them pitch through it, or you just try to patchwork it, just try to get as many arms as you can.
For example, Yabdiel has thrown 43 pitches, maybe a little bit more than that, and I mean he's really only been burned. I mean, yes, he's given up a run in every inning, but it's been 1, 2. If you can get out of this right here, you know, I would let him go another inning at least until that top of the inning comes, or the top of the lineup comes up again.
And with it being a 5-4 game, you're still a game.
Yeah. I mean, you're in the lead, and you know, I think right now that if I can find a way on my little stat thing here, if I can pull up the stats for the top 4 or the top 3, I think the top 3 batters are doing most of the damage right now.
0-2 the count. Two-hopper to first, 3-1. Pitcher covering. Side is retired.
Good work.
But Savannah State hangs around. As Savannah State, we've had a home run, we've had a couple of singles, a walk, nobody left. We'll take a break here. 3 complete. Our score, Edward Waters 5, Savannah State 4. When we come back for Edward Waters, top of the lineup when we return here on the Black College Sports Network.
It was a monumental game for A&M and Tampa. It was a monumental game. Somebody had to lose, and thank God it was them this time.
We knew it was going to be a battle. Look at Jake Aves' record. 202 and 36, I think. Some off-the-wall figures.
And nobody would play him because they didn't want to take a chance of getting beat. But the truth of it is,
over 46,000 tickets. Blacks were sitting in the east stands. Whites were sitting in the west stands, and the score wound up 34-28.
The only thing we proved that we wasn't inferior, that we were not inferior, and we were not afraid.
For one night, for 160 minutes, we was better than them.
Devin Shaw in now for the Tuskegee Golden Tigers. Shaw comes in. No record on the season. He has a couple of appearances there. Swinging a long one, y'all. That one might get out of it. It has a chance. And it's into the bleachers. Home run. Chris O'Neal goes yard.
Top of the 4th inning. We've had runs in every half inning with the exception of the top of the 2nd inning. And here Edward Waters is batting in the top of the 4th. First pitch is inside, ball 1. We are underway, top of the 4th inning. Charles Edmond, Brian Fulford. I had to work with Brian Fulford. He had Nick in the first game, Fly ball. Second baseman there.
Good play by Robbins there to track that one in.
We haven't had a lot of complete sunshine. We've had some. I always call it a tough sun field when there's mostly sunny skies. You got the glasses. Some outfielders and players don't wear glasses at all, and that could be to their detriment.
And I thought this is the forecasted temperature said it was a 45-50% chance of rain. It was overcast earlier today, but I think we're going to be in the clear.
Now you had to bring that up.
Did I jinx it? Did I jinx it?
It did rain this morning.
It did. See, okay, but I mean, it rained before the game.
I say that because I'm the announcer jinx. When when a pitcher is set down 13 in a row, the opposite happens. When I say it's not going to rain, it does, and all of that. So I'm kind of messing with you on that. The count is 2-0 here in this top of the fourth inning. Washington at the plate. Here's the pitch. Fastball high. 3-0 the count. The number 3 hitter Thomas on deck.
This one's getting away from Peel. He's got to find a way to collect himself. 3 straight balls. Kalen Washington showing great patience at the plate right now.
It's the 3-0. Low ball 4. Well, Peel ended the last half inning with back-to-back strikeouts. Now a 1-out walk to put out a fire did Peel in that last half inning. A 1-out walk here to Washington. It'll bring up Maury Thomas. He's 2 for 2 and advanced on an error. 1 out, 1 on here in this wild top of the fourth inning, this wild ball game here. Game 2, day 2 of the inaugural Black College World Series. It's a pleasure to bring you all the action on the Black College Sports Network, your source of all things Black College entertainment and sports. I've got a lot in the hopper coming up this summer. 1-0 the count. We're from Florida to Texas. They'll be all over the place this summer. Maybe some HBCU football in the fall. 1-0 the count. 1 on, 1 out. Peel at the belt. Brings it home. Fastball low. Time called. The catcher Davis coming out. Bullpen quiet right now for Savannah.
Good huddle here by Davis. As I think that's about 6 of the last 7 pitches have been balls by Peel.
When you look at a tournament, you talk about starting pitching, short relief, long relief, middle relief. Right now, you're in a long relief situation. The pitcher knocked out after just 2 innings. You got to find a way to at least get 2 to 3 innings out of Peel to kind of set yourself up, your staff up for the later innings. So this is important right here, I would think, even in a close game. Peel brings it home. Fastball just missed on the outer half.
And I'll correct myself. That's 7 consecutive balls. So there wasn't I just went back and looked back here. It's 7 consecutive balls thrown by Peel. And at this point, if you're Thomas, you're just kind of bats resting on shoulder. I mean.
Yeah. He's not going to swing the bat here. Nope. That's 8 in a row.
Yeah.
So back-to-back walks.
On 4 pitches.
Washington and Thomas. And 2 on and 1 out.
Now, I'll tell you, the wind is blowing from center to right, which is right where Caden Frankie wants it. I mean, he's a pull hitter. He's going to pull that ball to right. Obviously, the big home run that he hit with the bases loaded was towards the right field, right where the flag is in right field. And there he goes, right into right field.
Yep, it's a base hit. Washington makes the turn. He motors home. Thomas to third. Uh-oh. And he is tagged out. Look, Washington fell down, and he's tagged out. Like he stumbled 3/4 of the way home. Uh-oh, and he
caught a cramp.
Yeah.
He caught a cramp.
He's trying to stretch it out.
Yeah, he hit a tough patch there, caught a cramp. That's unfortunate.
Wow. and he's being carried off the field.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Do you guys hear me? Well, I would like to jump in very quickly and just to elaborate a little bit on some of the things that Charles was talking about. What he is mentioning this summer, one of the major things that we have coming up is the BCS and Game Time Tour, which will be starting June the 5th. It's a Saturday. Will be an introduction to our Saturday show, the BCS and Game Time show, that will really show the full impact and the full flavor of what we call the Black College football experience. And we're going to be having a lot of fun with that. You guys will be seeing us every Saturday. We're locking in our first location, but we will be in 10 different cities across the country, coming up to the DMV area, maybe hitting Chicago, I think. Philly, we're still debating on where we're going to go. Headed down south. And there's another hit.
Fly ball out to center, and the side is retired. So that was that. We'll pick up that point, but you know, Ryan Fulford, that was a tough inning right there. You had a player go down 3/4 of the way home. He cramped up. You could have had a really big inning, and unfortunately, it just fizzled out.
And that's the kind of inning that might swing this game for Savannah State, because they caught a break. I feel like they caught a break, especially after Peel struggled early, walked a couple guys, then you get a great hit, which, I mean, worst case, you're thinking we either got a bases loaded or that's bringing home a run. And just, I mean, Washington, I mean, unfortunate. I mean, any other time that young man's coming home, he's got that kind of speed. So, tough break, and it opens the door now for Savannah, who's coming up here in the bottom of the fourth.
And we'll take a timeout here. And Washington, the right fielder. So we'll take a break. We'll be back after this timeout here on the Black College Sports Network.
Have you had your Earthblend coffee today? At Earthblend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earthblend Coffee.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube, Spreaker, or the BCSN app. As we
All right, for Savannah State, bottom of the fourth inning, 5-4. Charles Edmond, Brian Fulford here. The home run derby is coming up next. His first pitch, swing and a miss. Off the bat of Champion Robbins, grounded to short his last time up. We do have a new right fielder, like Washington, out in right, cramped up, is out of the game. This next pitch, strike called. Looks like number 6.
Carlos Garcia.
Yeah, Garcia taking over in right. Here's the pitch low, and you talked about it the last half inning, how that can be a momentum changer.
Yeah. Now, Garcia has some speed. Obviously, Garcia has been in as a pinch runner before. So that's the one positive.
Next pitch, fastball high.
I'll be interested to see if Washington is out for the game. I know the rules for NAIA do allow. Well, I don't know now. This is a NAIA versus Division II, so.
And here's a E6.
Peyton Schubert lets that one get by him.
Yeah, that ball ate him up right there.
But, you know, that's got to be tough. He is a. Now, that ball is going to his right. That glove is in his left. So he didn't try to backhand it. He really, I don't know. I guess you could say he maybe was in an awkward position. I call it awkward. I think you'd have to almost backhand that ball. He tried to get in front of it, but he just wasn't able to do it.
Yeah, throw to first. I think because, the ball came up a little bit, but it didn't take a funny hop. Of course, we don't have the official score on the board. Turner Davis, the catcher, at the plate. Swing and a miss, big enough to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And I think they really changed speeds on him to kind of get him off balance. An off-speed pitch there he couldn't catch up with. 0-1 the count. He's 0 for 1, grounded to third. The leadoff man is on for Savannah. There's a throw to first, and getting back in is Robbins. 5-4, Edward Waters over Savannah State. Edward Waters with a run in the first, 4 in the third. Now, Savannah State, Ryan Fulford, despite trailing, has scored in every inning. Here's the pitch. There's a long fly ball in the deep left field. This ball's well hit. Track, wall, gone. Home run.
Big Turner Davis.
Well, we've been talking about it the last 2 days.
Big Turner Davis with a big shot over the left field. Did that actually go over the fence there?
It did. It went over the fence of the walkway. And Turner Davis touches them all. The second home run hit by Savannah State. Philip Wooler Jr. in the second. Turner Davis in the fourth. And it's a 6-5 Savannah State lead.
And I think that might be it for Yabdil.
We kind of felt this back and forth game coming, and that's what we got. We're going to take a timeout here. Give you the next pitcher coming up for Edward Waters as Hernandez has been knocked out. Both starting pitchers done. We'll take a break. On the other side, we'll give you the next pitcher for Edward Waters. 6-5. Savannah State has rallied back from 5-1 down. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
Savannah State getting it done with small ball, and now Savannah State has gotten it done with long ball, and they have the lead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The bats are out to play. Savannah State doing it on the ground, doing it in the air. Great game. I tell you, this one's going to go down to the 9th.
And now he's speaking of a home run, the guy that hit the first ever home run in the Black College World Series at the plate, Philip Woolard Jr. I tell you what, the bottom of the lineup has been productive for Savannah State. There's a foul down the left side. You look at the last 4 guys in the lineup for Savannah. They've been on base 4 times, an error, a hit, and 2 home runs in the last 4 in the lineup. That's some production in the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah, definitely. It's I was praising. I almost feel like I have to issue a retraction. I was praising the top of the lineup, and look, no doubt Joseph Smith and DJ Franklin are doing work at the top, but like you said, the guys at the bottom are smashing right now.
Yeah, that is the appropriate word. And they're smashing it over the wall. A couple of home runs, and talked about the wind. The wind's been shifty here right now. Light wind from left to right. About an inning ago, it was from right to left. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He was trying to hit that one out.
So our new pitcher is Nathaniel Shermer. Shermer is a freshman from Orange Park, Florida, Orange Park High School.
This pitch is low, ball 4. So Shermer, the book is closed on Hernandez. So this is Shermer's game, and he walks the first batter he faces, the number 8 hitter Woolard, and the productivity continues for the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah.
And it'll bring up Jaden Oden, who singled his last time up. Nobody out in the inning. A 2-run home run off the bat of Turner Davis, the catcher, has given Savannah State the 6-5 lead. That knocked out Hernandez. Shermer's first batter, he walked, and now Oden behind in the count 0-1.
You really hope at this point in the season the old adage is true that freshmen are really sophomores at this point, because Shermer's going to have to really show some poise with what he's facing and what is on deck.
Yeah. There's the pitch low, and you talk to coaches in any sport. You talk about freshmen when they first start, they're just that, freshmen. But then once you get later in the season, you talk to the same coaches, they're like, they're not freshmen anymore. They played enough to where they've got that veteran presence. And this is a wild pitch between the legs of the catcher, runner to second. So BB, bases on balls on a WP, a wild pitch, and Woolard to second.
And see, that's what you can't have. As important as the placement of the ball is, you just can't put anything in the dirt right now. You can't put anything in the dirt, because all that it's going to just make it that much easier for the next guy that Savannah State has coming up.
And the bullpen continues to be busy for Edward Waters. Time called, conversation, pitcher catcher, plate umpire now. Well, I guess it was in that same timeout. It was Oden talking to his head coach, and the umpire says, come on back to the plate. Count is 2-1 to the number 9 hitter, Oden. Top of the lineup coming up. There's nobody out in the inning, so you got to keep an eye on this here. It's the 2-1 from Shermer coming up. It's that time called again.
And both teams have committed a couple errors, and I think you really need your defense to really be sharp here in this inning.
There's the pitch off the end of the bat, fouled off. Oden tried to step out of the batter's box again, and the home plate umpire ushered him back to the plate. Mm-hmm. Just because you step out and take time does not mean the umpire is going to grant you time. You got to acknowledge the umpire. Hey, can I get time? And if the umpire doesn't give it to you, it's going to be a strike if you step out and the pitch is thrown. We've seen that.
Yeah.
2-2 the count, nobody out, runner at second. The pitch, swing, and just got by the catcher. It's a wild pitch, strike out, and down goes Oden. But that's just as good as a sacrifice. Why, you ask? Because Woolard's at third.
Mm-hmm.
So top of the lineup coming up, and You talked about the productivity throughout the lineup. How would you assess the top of the lineup here for Savannah? They have a chance to add to their lead.
Well, with one out, this is the group. This is the group right now. Here, Joseph Smith, who's although he's 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. I think he has scored in both appearances. So, with a runner on third, it's a dangerous man right now.
Trying to add to their lead. This pitch is low. Job by the catcher. Also, Smith has stolen a base as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the count is 2-0. Top of the lineup here for Savannah State. 2 in, and they're up 6-5 in a seesaw game here in day 2, game 2.
Notice that the infield is playing right up to the edge of the grass, and he goes to the outfield.
And he hits this one deep. This is going to score a run. Caught in center. Smith getting the job done.
Smart play.
As Woolard scores.
They came in right to the edge of the grass on the infield, and what does he do? He goes about 350 towards center field. Sacrifice fly RBI.
Well, you talk about putting it in play. He did that in deep and scored the run. And that adds to Savannah State's lead. So they've scored runs in every inning. A run in the first and second, 2 in the third, 3 here in the fourth. They're up 7-5. Bases empty for Franklin. He's been on base twice, single and a double.
Yeah, 2 for 2. Sprayed it to left and to center.
Well, you talk about the production at the top. So Smith's been on base twice with a sac fly, RBI. Franklin with an RBI, and Lamarche on deck has had 2 RBIs. So the top of the lineup's been just as productive. This pitch strike called. You know, coaches always are worried about the bottom of the lineup. They're always trying to, twerk that thing a little bit to try to get the best out of the bottom. There's the pitch, a shot. It's a base hit right center field. Smacked it in the right center. Franklin on base for the third time. He can stretch this into a double, the tag, and he is out at second. Nice tag at second as the inning comes to a close as Wood just got a piece of Franklin getting to the bag. Tried to stretch a single into a double, and that ends the inning. But Savannah State with a 3 spot here in the fourth, including the big home run. And they have the lead, 7-5. We'll take a break here on the Black College World Series here on the BCSN. We'll be back as we look at coming up here in the 5th inning, Aishin, Garcia, and Laurel. 6, 7, and 8 coming up after this timeout.
Follow the Black College Sports Network and all of our shows on YouTube. You can find us at MyJBN Online and on all social media at MyBCSN1.
This is Ryan Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Shot to third base. Great stab right there by Armstrong. And Jones across the diamond to get him out right there. What a play there by Armstrong.
Hey, look, and you can see Arias.
Charles Edmond here, Brian Fulford, an entertaining second game, second day in the inaugural Black College World Series. 7-5 Savannah. And there's the first pitch and hit by a pitch. Aishin HBP if you're scoring at home.
And the struggles continue for Enrico Peel right now. He had the rough inning in the fourth.
Yeah, Peel at one. I mean, Peel.
But then he hits Eichen on the first pitch.
A couple of innings ago when he came in for Hernandez, he struck out the last 2 batters he faced to end that inning.
Yeah, he was hot then. I don't know what happened since.
He's gone cold. He's walked a couple, struck out a couple, and he's hit one. So Garcia, the number 7 hitter at the plate, doubled, an RBI doubled, and flied to right. The pitch. Check swing up and in, ball 1. Well, the one thing about it, your team has the lead, so Peel's got the lead to work with. So I'm sure if you're Savannah State, you could milk this just a little bit here with the lead. Here's the 1-0. Up and in, 2-0.
And see, this is what I was talking about earlier about you can give your other pitchers a little bit of extra room because you have a lead now. You're more likely to want to see if Peel can work through this.
2-0 the count. The pitch. Here's a shot into center field. Played perfectly, caught in center. One away. As Franklin hauls it in. And played pretty perfectly right there. Ranged a couple of steps to his right. One away. And it'll bring up the third baseman, Adrian Lauro. Lauro reached on an error and struck out. Well, you talk about one team's bottom of the lineup productive, but you look at Edward Waters' bottom of the lineup has been the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the pitch, check swing, strike called. You look at the last 4 in the lineup for Edward Waters, 4 strikeouts, reached on an error, a double, and lined into a 7-4-3 double play. Here's the 0-1, fouled it off, 0-2 the count. So it's been a tale of 2 bottom of the lineups. And sometimes that happens. You expect so much at the top, but if you can get productivity at the bottom, the last 2, 3 in the lineup, got something good going.
See if Peel can get Lauro out on this pitch, or at least get him to ground into something that'll get him out of the inning.
Yeah, double play is what they're looking for. Nope, could be a wild pitch or a pass ball, depending on how you score it.
Well, I think that's a wild pitch. That ball was high. I mean, yeah, Turner, that ball went over LaRoe's head.
So the wild pitch got iced in the second. We talk about pass balls and wild pitches, kind of define the two. A wild pitch is more on the pitcher. A pass ball is more on the catcher. If the catcher can catch it and doesn't, gets by him, it's a pass ball. A wild pitch is typically the pitcher's fault. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, a wild pitch, a strikeout. Now they got the runner hung up at third, and he's out. And not paying attention is Eichen. And the head coach is saying, what were you looking at? Eichen just assumed the catcher was going to toss it to first on the strikeout and wild pitch. Instead, Eichen was running from second to third. So that's 2-5 on the out there. The fielder's choice, Lauro, is at first. Or the strikeout and the wild pitch, I should say, got him to first. But 2-5 on the out by Eichen. You wonder, what was he looking at right there? Is the pitch outside to Schubert.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often.
No, not at all.
1-0 the count. I mean, Eichen just probably assumed that the catcher Davis was just going to focus on the runner at first. He just kind of casually got into third, and the ball was waiting on him. 1-0 the count. Well, we've seen a little bit of everything.
Look, I'll tell you what. I mean, trying to keep up with this is a challenge. I'm not gonna lie, this is a challenge.
You need a scorebook and a rule book to keep up with it.
I'll tell you.
2-0 the count. 7-5. Well, we knew one of these type of games was coming. It was coming. It's just a matter of when and which game. And you got Xavier and Bluefield coming up next. Xavier's their first time hitting this field, so they're going to bring a lot of energy. That game's later on, and we've got the Home Run Derby coming up next here on the Black College Sports Network. It's going to be fun to bring you that. Here's the 2-0. Low, 3-0 the count. 2 outs. You can easily make the case that Edward Waters has kind of run themselves out of this inning. There's still 2 out in the inning, though. Number 9 hitter Schubert at the plate. 7-5, Savannah State. Here's the 3-0. Strike call right down the middle, 3-1.
I have a whole new appreciation for the good men and women who do live statistics.
Yeah.
You know, I trust me. I would love to. I'd love trying to keep track of this on. There's a swinging strike. I'd love trying to keep up with this on by hand, but I'll tell you, man, trying to keep up with games like this on the stat. Whew,
well,
what a challenge!
I can tell you, if you're calling a game and you're sitting next to the official score, 3-2 the count. The pitch, ground ball to second. Should end the inning, and it does.
Ooh, great job by Champion Robbins. First off, he did a great job of moving his feet, getting in front of the ball, and then he looked like he bobbled it for a half second. I'm thinking the great routine play almost turned into an error, but he collected himself, made the toss to right, and nice 4-3 out of the inning for Savannah. Good job.
And the way this game is going, even the routine maybe not so much.
Yeah, nothing is routine in this contest.
So we'll take a break here. We will come back with the home half of the 5th inning. It's been entertaining. 7-5 our score. Savannah State coming up 3, 4, and 5. Lamarche, Tracy, and Wright. Stick around, folks. Home Run Derby coming up next here in the inaugural Black College World Series. We'll be back.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
Black College Sports Network, your source for all things Black College sports, talk shows, the Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. You saw that with Dr. Kenyatta Cavill, Charles Bishop, and Mike Washington. Catch it every Tuesday. A lot to talk about in Black College these days. Football, baseball, softball. There's a lot going on here, and it's good to see that we're back at kind of in a halfway normal routine of sports.
It's busy, man. God bless all of the SIDs and the athletic departments on the work that they're doing, man, because they're having to stay busy with a lot, and then you're still dealing with COVID.
Yes.
I mean, let's not sleep. I mean, yes, a lot of the country is getting vaccinated, but people are still catching COVID. It is real right now. So we're just learning how to deal with it. And I think through this period, I think so highly of, not to disparage the programs or anybody who didn't participate in sports, but the programs who are going through this are going to be so much better on the other side of this.
There's a little flare into shallow right. Caught it second. One away. I totally agree with you. It's it's been a slow process. It's been a drag at times, especially 12 months ago. Just you're pulling your hair out. I don't have any hair. That's probably the reason why.
Mine turned gray. Whatever I had, it's gone gray completely everywhere.
It's different whether your hair's turned gray or if you lost it all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't had any for a while. But anyway, it's been tough. But we're starting to get back into our routine. But you still have to be cautious, careful, and safe. First pitch to Tracy in for a strike. He's 0 for 2. Grounded to third and fly to second. 7-5 Savannah. This pitch fouled off. Get back to the conversation we had the last half inning about the official scores. And I was going to share the story.
Okay.
Being a radio guy, you're sitting next to the SID, who's also an official scorer in most cases. And there have been many a conversation and many an argument in between innings about if it's an error, you rule it a base hit. Many discussions about whether it should be a hit or an error. And as you said, it's a tough job because you have to weigh everything out. If you got a slow runner at first, those type of things, it's not an easy decision to make when you call a hit and or an error.
It's the only sport that stat is subjective.
Yes.
I mean, there's no dispute on a travel in there is a dispute, but once it's called, it's called. There's no dispute, but there is in football when you call holding. It is whether it happens or not. But
foul off to the right side.
In baseball, though, you can have an error, and you can have this internal or external debate about whether it is or isn't. You can make it, and then I think you can come back later and change it.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Well, there's been that's another story. There's been so many games that I've called in which after the game, the assistant coach or the head coach looks at, because they get the printout of the box score, like, you rule that an error? You rule that a hit? How is that possible? And those conversations continue during the game and after the game.
Well, and because you got to think how it affects the numbers, which,
yes.
I mean, we anybody who loves baseball, you have to love numbers.
Yes.
First off. So you're thinking how that error affects so many things in terms of averages, not only for pitchers, but for hitters as well.
Here's the 3-2 foul straight back. So, yes, you are right. It's and we try to keep track of it as best as we can, and it is subjective in a lot of cases. And sometimes you don't see the E or the H on the board right away because there are discussions next to us and even in our box in terms of what it could be. You got official scores talking to themselves, trying to play it out. Here's the 3-2, a shot off the pitcher. Fields, whirls, throws, close, and he is safe. It's going to be a hit. A line shot back to the pitcher, and you got to keep an eye on him. Those line shots, pitchers sometimes get the worst of that. If it's too hot of a shot, it affects the pitcher. And coach coming out just to check on his pitcher.
Looked like it hit him on his. Are we saying it looked like it hit him on his shoe?
Yeah.
I thought it hit him in his leg.
Yeah. He's saying it hit him on the bottom of the shoe, on his cleats, so
well,
he's
that's
okay.
A good thing.
If anybody would know, the guy that got hit would know.
Exactly.
1 out, 1 on. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, Savannah State has scored in every inning in this game. And Wright, the first baseman, stands in. Grounded back, 3-1. Grounded to the first baseman, pitcher covering and struck out. Pitch inside. Well, they checked. Maybe he went around. He did not. First base umpire says no. I tell you what, the intensity of these games, you can kind of feel it, especially this game. I mean, these two teams have a history. You talked about that. And I think, there's a lot of energy between these two teams because for Savannah State, they've lost to this team 3 times this season. They're probably tired of looking at them.
Oh, yeah. And twice you've lost in the second half or very late in the contest. So, I mean, trust me, I know Edward Waters believes that there's a long way. There's a whole second half of baseball to go here.
Squaring the butt, fastball inside. Interesting there that the Wright would try to sacrifice there. Maybe just trying to catch the defense on their heels, and they are. They're back at first and third. So if he can lay one down the third baseline, it's going to be a base hit.
Well, this is the middle part of the lineup I think that you want to try to get out here. The
runner going here, and it's going to be a stolen base for a great jump. Great jump right there by Tracy, stealing a base.
Yeah, that might have been a little unexpected, especially when you see them trying to lay a bunt down. And so now I got to wonder, does Wright decide to just become a hitter now instead of trying to sacrifice anyone over?
The pitch to Wright. Went outside. Well, you wonder if you could give Wright almost the credit for the stolen base rather than Tracy, because him squaring up to bunt maybe caught everyone, including the catcher, on their heels enough to where Tracy got that extra step or two. The count is 3-1. There's the 3-1. A chopper, one hopper to third. Looks the runner back to second. The throw is right there. Perfectly executed. 2 away. It was a ground ball to Lauro. You execute that perfectly. You look the runner back to second, be patient, take your time, make the strong throw across.
Yep. And here's the talked about that middle part of the lineup. Here's Champion Robbins now, who's 0 for 2, and both of them he's lined out towards shortstop.
RBI opportunity here. Trying to keep Savannah off the board for the first time. Looks like that'll happen. Here's a fly ball to second. Inning over. First inning that Savannah State has not scored. We got an official game here. 5 complete. 7-5 Savannah as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Top of the lineup coming up here from Montgomery, Alabama, the state capital of Alabama, in the Black College World Series from Riverwalk Stadium. We'll be back with the top after this.
It was a monumental game for A&M and Tampa. It was a monumental game. Somebody had to lose, and thank God it was them this time.
We knew it was going to be a battle. Look at Jake Aver's record. 202 and 36, I think. Some off-the-wall figures.
And nobody would play him because they didn't want to take a chance of getting beat. But the truth of it is,
over 46,000 tickets. Blacks were sitting in the east stands. Whites were sitting in the west stands, and the score wound up 34-28.
The only thing we proved that we wasn't inferior, that we were not inferior, and we were not afraid.
For one night, for 160 minutes, we was better than them.
Devin Shaw in now for the Tuskegee Golden Tigers. Shaw comes in. No record on the season. He has a couple of appearances there. Swinging a long one, y'all. That one might get out of it. It has a chance. And it's into the bleachers. Home run. Chris O'Neal goes yard. That gives
Charles Edmond, Brian Fulford here. Nick Strong also in the building. Brought you the first game in day 2. We need the second game along with Brian Fulford. And we got the home run derby coming up. And here's the pitch. Fly ball foul and out of play. We are underway in the top of the 6th inning. Top of the lineup in Marcus Wood. He's 1 for 3 with a stolen base.
That's a pinch hitter in for Marcus Judd. That's Mark Anthony Perez. That's in. Mark Anthony Perez.
Wearing number
1.
Yeah, Mark Anthony Perez, the sophomore from Kissimmee, Florida. Lake Sumter State College transfer. This ball up and in. Well, you talked about this pitcher Peel, being sent back out there. I mean, this game's close enough where you can continue to get some innings and work out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the 2-1. Just a bit high and outside, as Bob Euchre likes to say, over everybody.
I think Turner Davis didn't even get up. Everybody was just like, okay. That one just went over the head of everybody by about maybe 3 feet.
Well, where's the pitch count on Peel, though? I mean, he's gotten out of some jams.
Just a bit high. Peel has thrown 47 pitches. Now, he has gone over, in terms of balls and strikes, 25 balls, 22 strikes. And then there's another walk. So, Savannah's sending a couple guys down to the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, Hickox, the starting pitcher, only went 2 innings. Well, this is his 4th inning of work. I mean, did not throw many pitches, but you're at a point in which you're getting towards the latter innings.
Mm-hmm.
So you're at that point in which, the game, is, even though it's there, and Peel wants the rosin bag, it usually is kept behind the pitching mound.
Carlos Garcia coming to the plate, who came in for Kalen Washington a couple innings ago in right field. Now he's his first at-bat.
And Washington actually walked 3 times when he was in there, cramped up on his way home, and went down 3/4 of the way home, cramped up, had to be carried off the field. 1-0 the count to Garcia.
There's no reason for any batter to swing at anything that's out of your zone because Peel is struggling right now.
I think that's his 5th walk. Here's the pitch low.
Yeah, I wouldn't be, even if it's a 3-0 count, I don't even think I'm swinging if I'm Garcia.
If you have pitchers struggling,
let him get you to first base.
Yeah, you just keep the bat on your shoulder. 2-0 the count. It's the top of the 6th inning. 7-5 Savannah State. Here's the 2-0. Right down the middle.
Okay.
2-1 the count.
It was a good pitch for Peel. Try to get yourself back under control. See what he can do right here on this pitch.
Even with the bag at 3rd and 1st. Back at 2nd and short. Trying to induce a double play ball.
Yeah.
Off the bat of Garcia.
I think he threw over to first. I don't even think he was on the rubber when he threw that. I think he was just kind of like, I'm just going to throw it over here for the heck of it.
2-1 fastball misses outside. The count is 3-1. Well, you have a pitcher that's kind of all over the map, and yet it's still a close game. Amazingly, I mean, and that's probably why he's still in, is the fact that he's all over the lot. But look at the scoreboard. Look at where we are.
Well, that may change here if this runner gets on.
The 3-1 strike called.
Paint the outside corner, huh?
Yeah, full count. And again, when you're in a postseason setting in which all of your arms are needed, if you can ride a guy and still look at the scoreboard, you're still in it. I think that's a good thing at this point. Here's the 3-2. Called, 3rd strike, painted the outer half. Garcia didn't like it.
And you know what? I would have done the same thing if I'm Garcia. I would make Peel get me out. The way that was outside, I'd question that too. I would have looked at the ump as well and been like, come on.
The umpire kind of walks Garcia back. I think Garcia said something to the umpire, and the umpire said something to Garcia.
Yeah. He was like, come on, Blue. The man hadn't been getting across the plate with any pitch over the last 2 batters, and you call that bailing him out. I'm sure that's sort of the conversation. That's what I would have said if I were 20-something, still playing or could ever play.
What if you were twice as old? Would you still say something?
No,
Here's the pitch, the strike called. Well, you talk about Peel being all over the place. He's walked 5, and now we've got a conversation in the dugout.
Still talking.
In the Savannah State, the Edward Waters dugout with the home plate umpire, and the home plate umpire takes his mask off and says, I've had enough. And somebody's getting warned, and that's why you see the home plate umpire pulling out his book.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, will he signal that warning up here to the official scorer? He's taking notes, so that's interesting.
Yeah. He's taking note for his own sake.
Well, look, don't upset him now, Edward Waters. Look, this is your advantage. This is your time to get runs, but don't make his strike zone expand all of a sudden.
Here's the pitch, strike called.
That's the last thing you want to do.
Yeah. But, I always have a lot of respect for officials in any sport. They get into it with a player, and you still got to be neutral. You still got to call the game both ways, and yet a player really gets on you, and you still got to be 50-50 with it.
But we're human. They're human. We know how that goes.
Yes. Pitch a little outside, 1-2 the count. Tell you what, you can't tell this game not lacking intensity. 1-2 the count. 1 out. 7-5. Savannah. Here's the 1-2. Popped up, and it's going to land behind us and out of play.
Hands were ready. Hands were ready. I'm following the ball. That's all I can do, right? Follow the ball, get my hands up.
Maybe we should bring a glove.
Yeah.
If you're sitting out in the stands, do you bring a glove to a baseball game?
I can't even remember where. I'm sure I have a glove in a trunk somewhere at home. Now, I would not go out and buy a glove. No, I would not.
Yes, yeah.
I would try to find my glove, which probably my hand won't even fit in because it's either too fat or it's too small, one of the two.
Here is the 1-2 pitch. Call, third strike on the inside corner.
Hey, see what I told you? Don't tell me he's human. Tell me he's human. Don't get him upset. Now he's put a little emphasis on it. He's kind of going to take a second and then punch you out.
2 out.
Yeah, Edward Waters going to have to. I wouldn't be surprised if I see Coach Johnson go down and have a talk at the and say, forgive my guy, or whatever managers and umpires talk about in between innings. I would not be surprised to see that happen.
2-out runner at first. Frankie at the plate. He's walked twice and has struck out. Well, much as we've talked about Peel and as much as he's had his downtime, back-to-back strikeouts. One on the outside corner, punching out Garcia. On the inside corner, punching out Thomas. Here's the pitch, fouled off to the left side. You talk about coming to the baseball game, sitting on the grass and all that. As an announcer, my wife always gets on me about, can you just go to a game just as a fan and sit in the stands, get your bag of popcorn and just sit and enjoy the game? Can you do that? You know what I said after a long thought? No, I can't. When you're used to being up here, it's hard to be down there.
Yeah.
Here's the pitch, a fly ball to left. This should end the inning, and it does. Side is retired. Boy, Peel lives to see another inning, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Well, Peel hanging tough. We'll take a break here. Bottom 6 coming up. Savannah State, can they add to their advantage? We'll find out as the bottom of the lineup, which has been productive. Davis, Woolard, and Oden, 2 of those guys have homered. Batting their hands coming up on the other side of this timeout here on the Black College Sports Network.
Devin Shaw in now for the Tuskegee Golden Tigers. Shaw comes in. No record on the season. He has a couple of appearances there. Swinging a long one, y'all. That one might get out of it. It has a chance. And it's into the bleachers. Home run. Chris O'Neal goes yard. That gives Lane a 10-0 lead right there. Lane College Dragons have put up a 10 spot on Tuskegee thus far. At Tuskegee.
Have you had your Earthblend coffee today? At Earthblend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earthblend Coffee.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU.
Stick around for the Home Run Derby. And if the Home Run Derby is a precursor to what we've seen in this game, the Home Run Derby will be a whole lot of fun. We've had 2 home runs hit in this game. We've had an inside the park home run hit today. And Turner Davis, who homered his last time up, stands in. He's 1 for 2. He grounded out. Davis, deep shortstop bobbles, long throw across, and did he toe the bag? No, he did not. First baseman did not toe the bag. Home plate umpire, first base umpire had to wait and hold up and see. It's off line. I want to say that's
that almost became what do you say, an SC top 10 play there. That was a great play by Schubert and an equally impressive play by Caden Frankie. Man.
Well, he's talking to the first base umpire. I think the head coach of Savannah is probably arguing the fact that he might have towed the bag. Did he just get a toenail on the bag? And also he may be contending that the first base umpire, the delayed call, like he was looking, like trying to see, and maybe didn't have the best angle. The home plate umpire is not in the conversation. I can understand that conversation, though, because there was a delay. So nonetheless, a single. It's not a tight shot. And I could see the conversation, just the uncertainty, the delay caused that. If it was just called right away, then you probably wouldn't have had that conversation as Woolard Jr., who's homered and walked, stands in.
On the mound for EWC now, Calvin Gonzalez. Another freshman from Orange Park, Florida, Ridgeview High School.
And Gonzalez ahead of Woolard. 1-2 the count. The pitch, fastball just misses 1-2. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning. Savannah State up 7-5. Number 8 hitter up Woolard. Pitch from Gonzalez, foul off to the left side. We'll have the home run derby coming up next. And Fulford will have a little bit of a break, and we'll have an exciting game coming up later. Xavier in Bluefield State. Our first look at Xavier from Louisiana coming up.
Yeah, the 1 seed, man. They get the nice, comfy 5-6 game. They get to watch everybody else play. I guess it's good being the 1 seed, right?
Here's the 1-2, misses high. Well, you know that works both ways, right? Of course, you got a lot of downtime, but there's a lot. Is it rust versus rest?
Yeah, exactly.
2-2 the count. But I'm anxious to see Xavier from Louisiana as well. Here's the 2-2. Here's a long one in the left field. This ball's well hit. This ball's got to go. It's a home run. Wow. Woolard, his second blast of the game.
And he jumped that pitch. I mean, I really feel like he jumped that pitch. And he got out ahead of it and just took it to left. Almost the same spot where he hit the other one.
Man, after the first day and a half, nothing. Then the second day, an inside the park home run. And in this game, 3 home runs hit, all by Savannah. 2 of the 3 by Woolard. And Savannah State adds to their lead.
Savannah may want to reevaluate who they're sending out for that home run derby. I mean, no all respect to Champion Robbins and DeMaurice Gresham, but I mean, Philip Woolard and Turner Davis. I mean, those are the ones that have been smashing it right now.
Is it too late? Is it too late to add them? Can they add 2?
Probably too late, but somebody could always come up with an injury, and those kind of things happen.
And not only is that impressive, it's the bottom of the lineup doing it.
The bottom of the lineup again. What, the 7, 8, 9, 1, 2 bat 1, 2, 3. That's what's been doing it for Savannah. Today. 7, 8, 9 have been killing it, and then you round it off with the 1, 2, and 3.
There's an inside-outside swing, a fly ball to left, and it's caught there. And for Oden, he is 1 for 3. Now we get to the top of the lineup for Savannah State.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is this the Savannah State team with the way they're scoring runs? Is this the Savannah State team you kind of expected coming in? Is Smith at the plate?
Oh yeah, I think this is the team that is the 2 seed for a reason that you expected here.
Time called as Smith. He just stepped out, didn't call for time. Now digs back in. This pitch swing and a miss. We talked about it earlier. You just don't step out of the batter's box. You got to ask the umpire to be granted time. If you're not, it's going to be a strike. There's a ground ball to short. Oh, good speed, but a good throw. 2 away. When you have a Savannah State team that's 13-6, we talked to the athletic director last night, and just they're going through that transition period as they drop. At one point they remember the MEAC, and dropping a division, it's best fit for them. And in these days and times, you have to do what's best for your school. And that I've always thought of Savannah State as a as a MEAC school, a D1 school, but things do change, for sure.
And they're going home. They're going home to the SIAC in most of their sports, which is what they were in. Prior to the move into Division I.
Here's the 2-0 fastball strike. Oh, I thought it was a strike. Just missed on the outer half, 3-0.
So a lot of renewed rivalries.
Yeah, as a person myself that follows the South of SWAC, then don't get a chance to dabble into the MEAC too much, or in this case the SIAC. But just from what I've heard and talking with people that are associated with those schools, it's just as intense, and the travel's not as bad either.
Right.
Amongst the schools.
Right, it definitely is. I mean, that's the one thing that the MEAC is so spread out.
It's a 3-1 foul straight back, full count.
It is so, well, it was so spread out that it really made it challenging. And I think for the MEAC, there was a benefit to the fact that your deepest southern school, Florida A&M, had such a strong presence in the northeastern parts of the country.
Well, Franklin watches it drop in the strike zone, kind of a let-up pitch, and that takes care of Savannah. We'll continue that conversation because it is interesting, as with COVID-19, it's impacting schools financially, athletically, and some decisions, get to be made sometimes. And we'll talk more about that as we roll along. We are through 6. Ryan Fulford will bring us home in a really, really entertaining game that's had a little bit of everything, and I think we expect nothing less in the last 3. Ryan Fulford will get us home after this timeout. 6 complete. Our score, 9-5 Savannah. Back after this timeout, the Black College World Series, the inaugural Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Welcome back to the top of the 7th inning. And the new pitcher for Savannah State, Matthew Terrell, will take over here after Enrico Peel finished off the 6th inning. Pretty much, Charles, from the 4th, 5th, and 6th shutout innings for Savannah State, as Edward Waters had the 4 runs that they scored in the top of the third, jumped out to a 5-2 lead, and really it's been all Savannah State ever since.
It has, and it's been a struggle at times, but then Savannah found their groove with the long ball with 3 home runs in the bottom of the lineup, productivity throughout their lineup. And this is kind of the Savannah State team that we expected coming in here with a 13-5 record. And you talked about Peel. I mean, Peel has been on a banana peel in his outing, all over the place, like he's about ready to slip off of it. But he found his rhythm, and really, when you think about it, he's kind of kept his team in it.
Yeah, he definitely has kept his team in it, and great composure there, and give some credit to Coach Hardy for keeping him in and not giving up on him, even when there were moments a couple of times when Look, I mean, you didn't know if he was going to let Edward Waters back in this game or not, but he showed some patience and confidence in Peel, and now they're up 4 runs heading into the bottom 3 innings.
And you got Torres at the plate. Line to short, fly to center.
Matthew Terrell facing Freddie Torres. Torres 1 for 3 on the day. The 3-1 pitch towards third base. Woolard back to first. Scooping it out of the dirt is Wright. Goes down as a 5-3. And that brings Joseph Eichen. Eichen, or is it Eichen? I feel like I've said it maybe 2 or 3 different ways.
I think it's Eichen.
Eichen, one of 7 batters that'll be in the home run derby, which will be about 20 minutes or so, at 15, 20 minutes after the conclusion of this game. The 1-0 pitch from Terrell. Inside, ball 2.
Eichen struck out twice, hit by a pitch. Advanced on a wild pitch.
Eichen is how it is pronounced. And that ball is outside.
And we talked about this earlier. You know, when you bat it around, and we can say Savannah State, you know, has done that. You talk about pitching and pitchers. You know, you had Peel that had such a pretty good run despite, you know, an up and down outing. Protecting that lead's important here.
Eichen looked at that one and called strike. Good take on that. 3 balls, 1 strike now. 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Edward Waters trailing 9-5. Outside ball 1, and I would say Edward Waters has them right where they want him, because this is this is the portion of the game where Edward Waters has taken 2 games away from Savannah State with some timely hitting in the late half of the last 2 meetings between these 2 teams.
You've done enough to win this game, but you got to finish the game.
Leonel Garcia comes to the plate. 1 for 3 today. First pitch by Terrell, strike.
And he's 1 for 3. Fly to right, fly to center, and an RBI double.
A little high and tight.
You know, you got a 4-run lead. Let your defense work. What you don't want to do is walk batters and hit batters. You don't want that.
Fouled. Knocking the face mask off of the face of Turner Davis.
You just wonder what you were just saying a moment ago, how Savannah State has had Edward Waters to the later innings and then only to let it slip away from the mental standpoint. I mean, you know, how you fight through that. You're like, uh-oh, let's not allow this to happen again. They've got a runner on first. Still, you know, 9 or 8 big outs to get.
Yeah, I would wonder, you know, or I'm wondering, you know, those pitchers, and I'll try to see if we can go back and take a look at those pitchers who were in the contest during those moments of those rallies. If any of them are out here, those are the ones I'd be worried about. Outside, ball 2. 2-2's the count now. Matthew Terrell, the freshman, Orange Park, Florida. Getting a little more sun than we thought we might get today. Beautiful afternoon of baseball. Oh, we got him chasing, and they're going to say he's out. What do we have here? Oh, no, he's first. Okay, well, I guess they're saying he has a simple strikeout there.
Yeah, it was a wild pitch, a strikeout, and the runner at first strayed a little bit too far away and had to get back in. Also, strikeout, 1 out, and Laurel, the number 8 hitter, stands in, hit with fielder's choice, reached on an error, and struck out. The home plate umpires had starts and stops the last couple of innings.
Yeah, yeah.
Batters have stepped in and out. Again, we've talked about it. Just because a batter calls for time doesn't mean he's going to be granted time. The home plate umpire has to give him that. And then sometimes you go too slow, he's going to usher you back in the batter's box. Good pitch.
Good pitch, low and right on the edge there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now for Edward Waters, you just feel like, if they get another runner on, they feel like they can get a rally going even though it's 2 out.
Fouled ball. Hits the top of the roof. And it'll bounce around. Souvenir for somebody. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs for Matthew Terrell. Trying to get out of this inning. Ooh.
It's a little bit high and inside, a let up. Count is 2-2.
And I guess LaRoe has to sort of take you, almost, he probably could have taken that one on the shoulder, but nobody wants to get hit by a pitch.
And I think even if he did, the mere fact that, and again, this was a rule that was enacted a few years ago, you've got to make an effort to get out of the way.
I was going to say that, yeah. You probably have to. I was going to say there's probably a rule that says you have to make an effort to get out of the way.
Because you had a lot of guys leaning into pitches just to try to get on base.
Right. Oh, he went down for that one. He's called out, and Terrell tells him bye-bye. And so Edward Waters leaves 1 on, no runs scored, and we'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Savannah State leading 9-5. You're watching the Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
Bottom of the 7th inning, Savannah State coming up to bat with a 9-5 lead. Winner of this contest stays alive, gets to play another day. Edward Waters won earlier today, eliminating Russ College with an impressive 16-1 contest, including a 9-run 9th inning. Savannah State, who took one on the chin yesterday as the 2 seed, comes into this contest having lost 3 times to Edward Waters with a 9-5 lead. But I bet you anything, they are not taking this Tiger team for granted at all. They got to finish this one all the way through.
Yeah, I also think that, you're in a kind of a twilight zone. I mean, it's still a game, but then a 4-run advantage could turn into a 6 or 7 and it's gotten away from you. So I think for Edward Waters, they got to keep this right where it is.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. At the plate, Luis Lamarche, who's 0 for 1. A couple of sack flies today.
And he flied to second. He's got a couple of sack flies, but a couple of RBIs, and that's big.
Yeah. Calvin Gonzalez. Well, off-speed pitch called ball.
And when you look at the grand scheme of things, okay, so we've talked about the home runs that Savannah's hit, but how about those sack fly RBIs that, I mean, it could be a 2-run game easily, despite all the long ball that Savannah State has encountered here.
Yeah, I think you've had a little bit of everything from Savannah. This has probably been a very complete game. You've seen them execute the small ball well. You've seen them move people along. You've seen great running on the base pads. And you've seen the ball be hit deep. And so this is about as complete a game as you can get. There's a shot into left field. Freddie Torres is going to settle up under that one for a first out.
And just studying, Savannah State yesterday, I mean, when you're 13-5, you've done a lot of things right. I mean, so, the record speaks for itself, and you could just say, okay, this is a pretty good team we're facing now. Xavier, Louisiana, that's another good team we're going to be looking at later on, but you look at Savannah State, their record speaks for itself and what they've done.
Max Tracy at the plate, he's 1 for 2. I believe his last at-bat was a shot right up the middle. Or actually, he may have hit I think he hit the pitcher his last at-bat. There's a shot going towards the left center field. Settling underneath that, though, is Damani Thomas for the second out.
And the wind is blowing from right to left and slightly in. I'll tell you what, you look at the dimensions here, and I studied that yesterday, 395 in the power alley in left center field. That's a cavern. That deep, 400 to dead center, 373 to right center. And you all talked about the 333 down the right field line in the last game. That's a short porch down there on the right side.
Right. Andre Wright comes to the plate now for Savannah State. 0 for 3 on the day. Strikeout, a couple of ground outs to short and second. And he just decides to stand in there and take that one. So it's a 1-1 count now. I've noticed that Gonzalez has picked up the pace. If you notice that, he is coming to the plate much faster than he was previously. Now he has a 1-2 count, 2 outs. And they're looking. Caught him looking on that strike 3. So quick work done by Gonzalez. And down goes Savannah State. We're going to the 8th inning. Opportunity still alive for Edward Waters to get back in this ball game. You're watching the Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
Follow the Black College Sports Network and all of our shows on YouTube. You can find us at MyJBN Online and on all social media at MyBCSN1.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Shot to third base. Great stab right there by Armstrong. And Jones across the diamond to get him out right there. What a play there by Armstrong.
Hey, look, and you can see Arias giving some love to Armstrong with the head nod, but that was a great play. Watch the replay there. What I noticed first, Drew, is the minute Armstrong took off, he led with his glove out. He had his glove out ready so that Brian Fulford and Charles Edmond here calling the second game today. of the Black College World Series, the second elimination game of today between Edward Waters and Savannah State. Unfortunately, the loser of this contest is eliminated from this tournament, and it'll leave us with the final four. Edward Waters defeated Rust College earlier today, 16-1, eliminating Rust. And so later up, we have the Home Run Derby coming up probably about 20 minutes after the conclusion of this game. And then tonight, we have Bluefield State against Xavier, Louisiana. Xavier, the 1 seed of this tournament. At the plate, Peyton Schubert, followed up by the top of the order for Edward Waters. Mark Anthony Perez, Carlos Garcia. First pitch by Matthew Terrell. Ball 1.
Yeah, 9-1-2 in the lineup. 6 outs to go.
Nice pitch.
You know, you're talking about Russ. You were part of the game prior to it. I get a chance to follow Russ living in Mississippi. And I got a chance to see Russ a couple of weeks ago. Foul off to the left. Rust has got a young team. You know, they're in the division with Tougaloo and others in that division. And when you got a young team just trying to build it, it takes time in baseball, as you know.
I'll be honest. A lot of the teams that we've covered, I believe, have been young. I mean, look at this Edward Waters team. Very young team. A lot of freshmen and sophomores littered. I mean, on this roster. I mean, sure, you've got a couple of upper class. I haven't seen anything like what we saw a few tournaments ago when we were in Music City, Nashville, where you had a Lane team which had 11 seniors.
Yeah.
There's a strikeout by Terrell as he got Schubert swinging.
And that's 3 strikeouts in a row.
Terrell seems to have gotten comfortable all of a sudden. He was a little shaky there in the beginning, and then he's gotten comfortable. Mark Anthony Perez comes up to the plate. Walked in his previous at-bat.
To my count, that 9 strikeouts to Edward Waters batters in this game. Edward Waters batters. Count is 1-1. And in baseball, when you have a veteran presence like in the SWAC of Jackson State with 5 seniors in the starting 9, that's veteran presence. But then you've seen, just like you were talking about, you've seen teams with just the opposite, the youth. And that takes time to work through and find a comfortable 9 to work through. But at least you got a lot of young guys, and you hope they buy in.
2 balls, 1 strike. Terrell pitching to Perez. Shot going left, down the line. Is that going to stay fair or foul? What are we going to call here? They're going to say
foul.
Whoa. Whoa.
Third base umpire right down the line.
And the umpire did not like the way that Perez looked at. He was a little slow getting that because Perez was at first base. He was ready to get into the home run trot. And I'm looking at Coach Johnson down there. I don't know. You know what? I mean, look, we don't have a camera on that third baseline, but I don't know. You gotta go with the call. But man, I tell you.
I think the third base umpire's talking to coach and saying, look, it just hooked foul to the left of that foul pole.
Ooh.
I can't read lips, but the body language is kind of telling you, pointing towards that foul pole, the left side of it.
Okay. So he says, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Terrell to the plate. He did not go on that, so now we're going to end up with a full count.
Now we say that because the angles that we see.
Obviously, yes. we don't have the only good angle is the angle looking down the line. Everybody else is guessing. Fouled off. Now, there's probably some folks sitting down here, first and second row. Now they probably had a good view. Now, from our angle, I'll be honest, Charles, from where I'm looking, I thought that was fair. But then again, I mean, let's keep it real. I don't have a great angle. And so we've got a little nick there on Turner Davis.
Oh, his hand.
Yeah, the trainer came out. He looks a bit in discomfort there.
Oh, is he going to have to stay in? Ooh, yeah. I mean,
You think he got jammed?
Maybe. He may have some alcohol on that towel, and he might have got scraped up, and he's in pain.
Well, he looks like he might need a little more than that, though.
He doesn't want to come out.
No, definitely does not.
Just try to shake it off. I have a lot of respect for catchers. Tons of respect.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
where would you rank catchers in, let's say, if I had to think of toughest positions in sports, I would say, how about if I threw at you catcher in baseball, I don't know, maybe center in football, goalie in hockey. What other sport? Hard to say in basketball because it's such a. But it's just those three sports. Where would you rank a catcher?
I would say catcher is right up there with like offensive lineman in football because a lineman, you're grinding every single play. Catcher, every single pitch, you're on your knee. A backswing could get you. A collision at the play. I mean, with the catcher, it's constant, just like football. So I guess it's 1-1. I would probably say football because every play you're in a battle position. Where in baseball, you're not necessarily because you got foul balls, you got players getting hit, so you're not engaged every single play. But in football, you're engaged every single play.
Right.
That's kind of where I would rank it.
So you 1A, 1B?
1A, 1B.
Yeah,
I would say offense lineman 1, catcher 1A.
I would tend to agree with you. Now I would also I think part of that is because also the amount of padding and then the heat factor.
Yes.
And so I might lean towards catcher just because, the natural position of having to be down in that squatting position and in the heat. 3-2 count to Perez, and that goes behind him, and that's going to send Perez to first base on the walk.
And he walks for the second straight time. And Perez was a little fiery as he tossed the bat off to the left side, trotting to first. He's walked for the second straight time. And Garcia stands in, 1 on and 1 out. Garcia has walked twice. No, actually he's walked 3 times. I tell you what, between the top 4 in the lineup, they have walked 3, 5, 7 times.
Wow. Called strike 1 on the first pitch to Garcia.
But then to add to your thought about lineman versus catcher, linemen obviously have more padding and more protection. Look at what catchers have, a mask, shin guards, and a chest protector.
Yeah.
I guess they don't need all that, and I guess catchers probably, if they had the choice to have the padding and protection that a lineman have, they probably wouldn't take it because that would hinder your ability to throw across, and you would feel constrained. But they would like the protection, though, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Swing cut by Garcia, called strike 2.
But when a catcher's career is done, you could tell the knees, the ankles, the back. I mean, I've seen catchers on the other side of their baseball careers and just you don't want to see it.
One of my favorite catchers growing up was Gary Carter.
Yeah,
Gary Carter. I was a Mets fan and didn't really follow Gary Carter in the Expos days, but I definitely was a fan of his when he was with the Mets.
Mine was Johnny Bench.
Oh yeah. There's a fly ball.
And being from St. Louis, we had a guy named Mike Simmons, they call him Simba. And he was one of the better catchers. I'm sorry, Ted Simmons. I'm one thing, Mike. Ted Simmons. They call him Simba. He's one of the better catchers. But I used to love Johnny Bench.
Yeah, Bench was pretty good, I hear. There's a swinging strike on Garcia. And now coming to the plate for Edward Waters, Damani Thomas. And the bad part for Edward Waters, 9 runners have been left on base in this contest. Yep. And with 2 outs, Mark Anthony Perez is on first, trying to avoid this being the 10th.
I think when a baseball coach gets a stat sheet, he looks at 3 things. Mm-hmm. He looks at walks, he looks at errors, and he looks at the LOB column, left on base.
Okay.
All that kind of defines your day.
Okay.
What you do or what you don't do. When you leave a lot of runners on base, that means you had your chances, but you just couldn't get them home. And
right.
That's runs left out there that you just left on the table.
But isn't that more so? I mean, you could leave that many, but if you were leaving guys on first and second, that's not necessarily all runners in scoring position. I would tend to think how many of those runners were on third base or in quote unquote scoring position.
I would agree with that.
You know, I mean, that would be my only argument to the stat, and I don't know if obviously you can go advanced analytics and be able to figure that out in the course of a game.
That's a very good point. You know, second and third is what you're talking about.
Right.
Runners in scoring position.
There's a shot to the right side. Robin scoops it up, tosses over to right at first, and there's that 10th runner left on base for Edward Waters, and Savannah State gets out of the inning, and they'll go to the bottom of the 8th now with an opportunity to grow that lead that they have right now. They're up 4, and you are watching the Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
Shot to third base. Great stab right there by Armstrong. And Jones across the diamond to get him out right there. What a play there by Armstrong.
Hey, look, and you can see Arias giving some love to Armstrong with the head nod, but that was a great play. Watch the replay there. What I noticed first, Drew, is the minute Armstrong took off, he led with his glove out. He had his glove out ready so that by the time...
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Coming up on the bottom of the 8th inning, Edward Waters has a new pitcher on the mound. Darius Blazingame comes to the mound into this contest. Savannah State with a 9-5 lead over EWC. As we get ready to go into this inning, as we're coming up here, it's a pleasure to have joining us right now the head coach of Florida Memorial University, the Lions, Coach Florentino Burgos.
Yes, sir.
A.k.a. Coach Tino. Coach, thank you for coming out. Pleasure to come up here and talk with you. We're still trying to get the audio. I'm not sure what. I don't know. Coach, I hear you up. Can you hear me?
I hear you perfectly.
Okay, well, everybody's hearing everybody. Coach, hey, first off, congratulations on the 2 wins yesterday. Talk a little bit about the journey up here, how your team is feeling after day 1.
We're feeling good. Obviously, when you're able to get back-to-back wins, winning 2 games in a single day is hard any given day, and for us to be able to pull that off, especially in a tournament like this, it's exciting, and it's just a great feeling, and I'm very proud of my boys.
Yeah, talk about this opportunity, Coach. I mean, to play in this inaugural a Black College World Series and to continue the journey and continue to do some good stuff. Just talk about how your team got here.
Well, it came with Michael Coker and his vision and opportunity for him to make this event happen. And obviously, Florida Memorial, we're very proud to be part of the HBCU community and the HBCU baseball world. And when this opportunity presented itself, there was no doubt we wanted to be a part of it, and we had this opportunity. Like I said, we're excited to be a part of it. And this is just a prestigious event that I believe is going to continue to grow and give us the opportunity to make this a bigger and greater event as years go by.
And watching your team, I mean, you guys really are solid. And when I watch your team play, just talk about your team and how you feel about how your team's playing right now.
We got a pretty good ball club, We play in a very tough conference. The Sun Conference, we've got, several teams ranked in the top 25 nationally, several teams receiving votes. And so we're kind of used to the high competitive level. And a tournament like this, I feel very confident that we should be going into the games feeling confident ourselves as a team and an opportunity to compete, put our best foot forward. Like I've told many of our guys, let's put our best foot forward. And I feel confident in my group. I've got several good guys that have been with my program since the beginning, and hopefully a tournament like this allows not just the Sun Conference to see them, but the HBCU world to see what we have to offer as a baseball program.
This is a learning opportunity for me. First time I've had a chance to watch you and your team. You talk about the Sun Conference. For those who might not be familiar with the Sun Conference, we're all familiar with these other conferences, but maybe not the Sun Conference. Talk about some of the teams that are in that conference.
Well, Sun Conference for me is the toughest conference in the country. I would consider us to be the SEC of the NAIA. Mm-hmm. We've got Southeastern, which is a perennial powerhouse, top 5 country, every year. St. Thomas, Weber, Warner, Kaiser, UC Beaufort, you name it, they're in our conference. Obviously we play in Florida. And so it's a very competitive, high-level conference. But, we feel we're very competitive, and we feel we have a good ball club. And, it comes down to recruiting. It comes down to things like that. And we've been able to improve every year. And so the Sun Conference allows us an opportunity to see this high level of baseball every weekend. And so when we come into a tournament like this, we know what we're expecting. From Savannah to Edward Waters, you name it, Bluefield, there's all high level teams in the HBCU world, and we expect them to be just as good as any team in the Sun Conference.
Yeah, I look at a team like Savannah State, 13 wins coming in here. Xavier, Louisiana coming up later. I mean, that's some quality baseball.
Absolutely. And these are things that this tournament allows people to see how good HBCU baseball is around the country. And I hope that other coaches, other athletic directors, other universities buy into the things that are taking place now, because these are opportunities for our student athletes to showcase their talent, their level of play, to not only their scouts in the conference, but to scouts outside of the conference, and to create an exposure for guys that may not get that same exposure throughout the year, to maybe get it hopefully in April and May.
Every coach I talk to nowadays, COVID-19, as we are going into beating 9-5 our score, and Edward Waters coming up at the top of the 9th. We talk with coaches. I talk with coaches all the time, trying to deal with this COVID-19 environment, trying to still be competitive. I know it's a challenge for everybody. How has this journey been for your team in trying to keep your team safe, competitive, and playing at a high level despite what we're dealing with throughout the world?
It's been a challenge. I'm sure, like any other coach would tell you throughout. It's been a challenge. The COVID-19 was something that no one expected, and for us, it hit us hard. We had no summer program. We had no fall baseball. We came into the spring, and that was the first I got to see a lot of my incoming guys, my transfers, my freshmen, and it was until January that I got to see them. And unfortunately, I learned that the fall is very important in baseball. There was times that I kind of took it for granted, but I realized this year how important fall baseball is. and the weight room and the rigors of the running, conditioning, and the training, how much of that is so important going into the spring.
Yeah, I've talked with a lot of different coaches about and I've learned this lately, the importance of fall ball. A lot of fans don't associate baseball with the fall, but the fall is really where you build your foundation for the spring. How critical is it when you don't have it? I mean, how does that set your team back?
Oh, it's vital. It's vital because you're talking about guys that you don't get to see. You don't get to see them in inter squads. You don't get to see them in scrimmages or practices and things like that, individual drills. And so, these are all things that you can clean up from just a pitch calling standpoint to your hitting approach, to your base running. Just all the little things that are big in the game that either fans don't see. Those are all things you work on in the fall. Those are all things you clean up in the fall. And most importantly, those are opportunities for guys to show what they can do to make the ball club or to be an impact player on your ball club. And unfortunately for the spring, to have those guys try to do that in the spring, for us, it was tough. It was difficult. It was tough because the level of talent we have is pretty good. And so what separates some of these guys are the little things. And unfortunately, I didn't get to see that in the fall. And so it carried into the spring. And some of the mistakes and things that we did in the spring that cost us some games, I think had we cleaned them up in the fall, things would have been a little different for us come springtime.
That line shot there by Caden Frankie puts one on with no outs here in the top of the ninth inning. Edward Waters, Savannah State 3 outs away from sending the Tigers home. But as many of you folks know who've paid attention to this series, this is that rallying point where Edward Waters has found a way to come up with some wins. Coach, you had an opportunity to play Edward Waters a couple of times, three times this year. What's your takeaway as you watch what you've seen from them today?
They're scrappy. They're going to get after it. They're well coached. They got a lot of talent, and they get after it. They're a team that no one can take lightly, and you better play them all the way to the last out because, as you're fully aware, they will play to the last out. And if you don't do that, you might catch yourself on the wrong side of the game, So you better not take them lightly. I don't care if you're up 3-4. Like I tell my guys, keep it a grand slam away like they are now. And you never know, man. You never know. So, baseball's funny like that, man, And so, I think Reggie's done a great job over there. Reggie's always embraced me since I've taken the job at Florida Memorial. And I told Michael Coker, he's one of the few guys that called me to congratulate me and to welcome me into the HBCU community. So, I'm kind of rooting for him right now, to be honest with you, but I hope that wasn't live on the air.
3-2 pitch here and walking him now.
That's what I'm telling you right there. That's what we're talking about right there. You better play him to the last out.
I love that phrase. Keep him a grand slam away. Because we have seen what Edward Waters can do with the bases loaded in a tight ball game. And here they are now with no outs. Runners on first and second. Joseph Eishin comes to the plate. Eishin actually one of the 7 participants in the home run derby. So I'm just saying.
You never know.
You never know. Matthew Terrell, first pitch, called strike. Now, Coach, the Sun Conference, is there going to be a tournament? Because I know some conferences are going to postseason or 2 conference tournaments. Some aren't.
Correct.
There is going to be, for the Sun Conference, a postseason tournament this year?
Yes, sir. That takes place next week. Unfortunately, we fell outside. We're 7th seed right now. They take the top 6.
Oh, okay.
We lost some tough games this year. Unfortunately, we lost some tough games, and we have no excuses about it. We should have played better baseball, but tough. The conference is what it is, and 1 inning here, 1 inning there is the difference between finishing in the top 3 or finishing in the bottom 3. And unfortunately, we just we had that 1 or bad 2 innings this year.
So unless there's some sort of at-large opportunity, this could very well be sort of the conclusion of the season here.
Correct. So this is our World Series.
Yeah, I was going to say
this is our World Series.
Extra motivation, right?
Absolutely.
Let's finish it off with a win and a championship.
Yes, sir. I tell them all the time. We want to be the best HBCU team in the country. Then we want to be the best, NAIA team in the country. So this is our first step, and this opportunity here is just phenomenal for us, especially at Florida Memorial University, where the baseball program's been down for some time, and now we've progressively gotten better. And so for us to be competitive in this tournament and possibly maybe, pull it off, I think it would be huge for for us as a baseball program, and the Sun Conference at that, because it does elevate the conference as well.
Good patience shown there by Joseph Eishin, and now he has a count 2-1 count now. Again, runners on first and second. That's Caden Frankie on second, Freddie Torres on first, and pitching for Savannah State, Matthew Terrell. Nobody's warming up in the bullpen for Savannah State. 2-1. Shot into center field. That's going to drop. They're going to they're going to hold everybody up. And so what do we say, Coach? And here we go.
I told you keep the grass on away. So I know, Waters will play to the last out. And Reggie does a good job of making sure his guys understand that.
What you're saying is there are 27 outs in a baseball game, and until you get that 27th out, don't count on it.
Don't count on it. Yeah, you better get that last out. Yeah, I've been there. I've been there.
And here we go now. Top of the ninth inning. Edward Waters, the tying run now comes to the plate. Leonel Garcia, he's 1 for 4 on the day. Had a double earlier in his second at bat. Bases loaded. Matthew Terrell on the bump. Man, how much pressure must this be for any batter? How about from a coaching perspective, Coach? What's the anticipation like when you're either on the field or in the dugout?
I just start praying. I just start praying. Hey, hit strikes, swing at strikes. Lay off the bat stuff, put the pressure on the defense, make them make a play, and you just hope for a quality at bat in these type of situations.
The 0-1 pitch by Terrell. And called strike 2.
Which is more pressure? Bases loaded, nobody out, a 4-run. Is it more pressure on the batter trying to make something happen, or is it more pressure on the pitcher?
Well, that's a tough. It depends on what you got on the mound, right? If you got a bulldog on the mound, he knows he's got a 4-run lead. Let's go after it. Let's make them put the ball in play.
It's a shot right up the middle. Stopped by the second baseman. Flips it to the shortstop. 1 run came in. That's Eishin. And so they possibly prevented more than 1 run coming in. So that's a nice play there.
And what that does, Coach, if that breaks the tying run of the plate, they get a run, it's 9-6.
Yeah, I'll trade the run for the out there. Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you got a guy that maybe could put a ball in the gap. Run, rabbit, run. But this is an opportunity for guys, you're down a couple runs. Let it fly. You got nothing to lose at this point. Get a pitch you can find. A good pitch you can drive in the gap, and hopefully you get it. I think it puts a little pressure on the defense right here. Defense has to make a play, and so let's see what happens here.
You got to look at it 2 ways. On one hand, one swing of the bat ties it. But then on the other hand, one swing of the bat can end it with a double play. You had runners on at first and third.
Correct. That's why I start praying. That's why I start praying.
The 0-1 pitch, Adrian LaRoe at the plate now. Now we got a 1-ball, 1-strike opportunity here. Be interesting to see what they do with Garcia on first. Do you try to move Garcia over to second to take away the double play, and at what point that happens? The 1-1 pitch coming by Terrell. Runners on the corners. Fouled off.
Well, yeah, that's an interesting point, Coach. I mean, do you send the runner? I mean, because if you take second, a base hit makes it a 1-run game, and then really game on.
Well, that's where the gamesmanship comes to play. You rely on your coaches there, knowing the time where he's throwing to the plate. I would like to think you have to run at some point here. You got to try to stay out the double play. So he's got to get to second at some point, but we'll see what Reggie decides.
I think he held up on that one. Yeah, no. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
This might be the time to run right here.
Freddie Torres is on third. Leonel Garcia on first. Leroux at the plate. 2-2. Swinging strike. And he is out. Big strikeout there.
That may have been the time to run.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And now coming to the plate, Peyton Schubert with 2 outs. He is the tying run here. Now, if I understand the bracket correctly, Coach, you all play the winner of this game. Is that correct, the way the bracket is set up?
I believe we play the winner of Xavier and Bluefield.
Okay.
Or the loser, rather. We play the loser of Xavier and Bluefield.
Okay.
Which that game's tonight at 7 o'clock?
Yes.
7 o'clock.
Or after the home run derby.
I'll definitely be here scouting and taking a look. So both programs are very competitive. Xavier has a pretty good program, I understand, this year. And Bluefield I saw the other day. And, whoever we get is going to be a highly competitive, team. So, we're excited and looking forward to it.
What do you think of, well, you've seen Bluefield, obviously. What do you think about just adding to what you saw with them?
They're competitive, and they look like they get after it. They seem to be well coached. I don't know too much about them, being at a different division. But from what I've
there's a pop up. Let's see.
All she wrote.
Third baseman coming over hard and coming over. Philip Lamar comes over hard, charging to snag that one up in foul territory, and that is how this contest is going to end. By beautiful, nice pop-up there by and a good charge there by Willard. And so this one comes to an end. The final score, Savannah State 9, Edward Waters 6. And it was a good run for the Tigers. And Savannah State sort of getting the monkey off their back, so to speak, as they finally get a win over Edward Waters this season. Their first of 4 meetings against their Tigers. Right off of I-95, so I mean that rivalry will continue to grow as we go. So, and of course, joining us right now as we get ready to conclude, Coach Tino Burgess, Florida Memorial. Any final questions you have for Coach Charles?
Well, yeah, I just want to talk about the recruiting aspect of it. I mean, you got to have players.
Yes, sir.
So the state of Florida, I mean, you've got a lot of talent, Florida State, Florida A&M, and your school, and just talk about that and trying to build your roster and the talent in the state of Florida.
It's difficult. You got so many schools there, and especially so many junior colleges that they're all going after the same kids, the high-level kids. And so it's competitive, but we've been able to do a good job of keeping the local guys home, especially the ones from Miami.
Yeah.
And we've been able to turn the program around in the sense of this is the place to come and be seen and get the exposure you would want at any other program. And so we've been able to get a lot of local guys and keep a lot of those local guys home. And so that's what's helped us grow as a baseball program. And as far as recruiting, every year it's competitive, and we've done a good job of it, as far as trying to get some of the right guys in. It's sometimes you get the wrong guys in, and just the goal for me is always get the right guys on the bus, get the wrong guys off. And if we can continue to do that, I think we'll continue to grow as a program, and and hopefully become one of the better programs across the country.
Coming up in the home run derby here shortly, one of the 7 competitors, Nathan Harris, is in this. What can you tell us about Nathan on the year, and how would you sort of handicap? What do you think his chances are in the first round, or maybe even to win this thing?
I think he's got a legitimate shot. Nathan's a freshman, true freshman. I got him. He's a transfer from Florida State University. Okay. And just through mutual relationships, things like that, through the baseball world, I was able to get him because of the COVID. And so his opportunity was limited at Florida State. Made a decision to come to an HBCU and came to us. And he's a switch hitting, third base, first base guy. Tons of power, can hit the ball out any yard, any field. And so I think he's got a good shot, As long as he can keep his emotions under control, stay focused, hit a good pitch, something he can get out the park, elevate a little bit. Home run derby's a little different than BP. BP, we're gap to gap. There's a few times you may hear me say, hit it out the park. But I think he's got a legitimate shot. I'm not sure if he's going to go lefty or righty.
I was going to say, what's the better side for him, left or right?
He's got tons of power lefty, but I think righty with this ballpark, might be his best shot. 315 down the line, just get it up in the air. But he's got tons of power. He's a great talent. I think the day he realizes that he can be the best player on the field, regardless of who's on either side, you're going to be hearing about Nathan Harris for a long time.
Nice. All right, Coach, before we get ready to break, let people know how they can support your program, how they can reach you, social media or elsewhere.
Absolutely. Go to fmuniv.edu, go to our website, find our baseball program there, and you'll see different things that we have, different links that we have, our social media, our FMU baseball. Come look us up, man. We got great baseball taking place. We got a lot of good young men, and just not in the baseball world, maybe in the corporate world and all those things, because these young men will graduate with degrees, and they will be well-disciplined and well-mannered young men that can offer a lot more than just the baseball world. I tell my guys all the time, you don't have to make it to the major leagues to be a good man, to be a good husband, to be a good father, to be a good nephew, good son, and all those things. And that's what I hope that my guys carry on, outside of baseball.
Amen. All right. Again, Coach Tino Burgess, Florida Memorial University. Florida Memorial playing tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m. against the winner of tonight's Bluefield State College versus Xavier contest. So you play the winner of tonight's game. So,
it's the winner.
Yeah, according to the bracket, but so we'll see.
Okay. Hey, it don't matter, man. Baseball's baseball. We'll get after it, and it is what it is.
I got you. All right. All right. So we're going to take a break. Give us about 20 minutes, folks. 15 minutes at the most. Get ready to tune in for the Home Run Derby coming up. 7 competitors. We'll set more of that information coming up. Again, final score: Savannah State 9, Edward Waters 6 for Charles Edmond. I'm Brian Fulford. Took me off for a minute down here. We'll be back right after these messages with the Home Run Derby. You're watching the Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and parenting education coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media,